the dream keeps us strong. Through every challenge we rise, never wrong. With every goal we fly, hearts on fire. The passion unites us, takes us higher. Keep on singing, support never fades. Together we stand in this blue brigade. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand. Oh yeah. Keep blue flag flying high, fly high. From Stamford Bridge, the pride that we share. Each kickoff, each moment, it feels so rare. With faith in our hearts, we chase the dream. Through every match day, we're part of the team. The love for our club is a powerful thing. Together we shout, let the victory ring. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand. Oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. We're unstoppable. Hear the roar. In blue we trust forevermore. Together we sing hand in hand. For Chelsea forever we'll stand. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand. Oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. Chelsea, the dream keeps us strong. Through every challenge we rise, never wrong. With every goal we fly, hearts on fire. The passion unites us, takes us higher. Keep on singing, support never fades. Together we stand in this blue brigade. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand. Oh yeah. Keep blue flag flying high, fly high. From Stamford Bridge, the pride that we share. Each kickoff, each moment, it feels so rare. With faith in our hearts, we chase the dream. Through every match day, we're part of the team. The love for our club is a powerful thing. Together we shout, let the victory ring. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand. Oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. We're unstoppable. Hear the roar. In blue we trust forevermore. Together we sing hand in hand. For Chelsea forever we'll stand. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand. Oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. Chelsea, the dream keeps us strong. Through every challenge we rise, never wrong. With every goal we fly, hearts on fire. The passion unites us, takes us higher. Keep on singing, support never fades. Together we stand in this blue brigade. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand. Oh yeah. Blue flag fly. the pride that we share. Each kickoff, each moment, it feels so rare. With faith in our hearts, we chase the dream. Through every match day, we're part of the team. The love for our club is a powerful thing. Together we shout, let the victory ring. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand, oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. We're unstoppable, hear the roar. In blue we trust forevermore. Together we sing hand in hand. For Chelsea forever we'll stand. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand, oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. Chelsea, the dream keeps us strong. Through every challenge we rise, never wrong. With every goal we fly, hearts on fire. The passion unites us, takes us higher. Keep on singing, support never fades. Together we stand in this blue brigade. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand, oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. From Stamford Bridge, the pride that we share. Each kickoff, each moment, it feels so rare. With faith in our hearts, we chase the dream. Through every match day, we're part of the team. The love for our club is a powerful thing. Together we shout, let the victory ring. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand, oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. We're unstoppable, hear the roar. In blue we trust forevermore. Together we sing hand in hand. For Chelsea forever we'll stand. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand, oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. Chelsea, the dream keeps us strong. Through every challenge we rise, never wrong. With every goal we fly, hearts on fire. The passion unites us, takes us higher. Keep on singing, support never fades. Together we stand in this blue brigade. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand, oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. From Stamford Bridge, the pride that we share. Each kickoff, each moment, it feels so rare. With faith in our hearts, we chase the dream. Through every match day, we're part of the team. The love for Chelsea forever will stand. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand. Oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. Chelsea, the dream keeps us strong. Through every challenge we rise, never wrong. With every goal we fly, hearts on fire. The passion unites us, takes us higher. Keep on singing, support never fades. Together we stand in this blue brigade. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand. Oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. From Stamford Bridge, the pride that we share. Each kickoff, each moment, it feels so rare. With faith in our hearts, we chase the dream.
Yes, good people, big up to all of you. Welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Welcome for another edition of the Chelsea News Roundup Show. I do hope you're all doing well. I say, yeah, it'd be correct to say it's a happy time to be a Chelsea fan. We're automatically into the round of 16 of the UEFA Champions League, and we did it in the dramatic fashion. We're here to talk about that today, and also we will go news hunting as usual. Yeah, because the transfer window is still open, and we've been told that we're very busy. Whatever that means, but we will go news hunting to see if any news emerged since the last time we streamed, which was 2 days ago. I guess I didn't just want to stream. I didn't want us to do the match reaction show or post game show yesterday because the space was crowded. So let's talk about it now. We will relieve that dramatic win. We will go news hunting, but more importantly, as usual, I'm going to say hello to those of you already in the chat. How many people do we have there in the chat? I think about 3 people. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the conversation. The first person is MBO5, Mabas05, aka MBO5, my bro. He says, big up Kachila. I am happy that Chelsea smashed Napoli 3-2. Thank God Lukaku didn't shamelessly score against us. Up the Chelsea as always. He was he was in the frame of the picture when the cameraman followed João Pedro as he celebrated this goal, and I liked that so much. If he had the mask, he'd put it on at that point. That's Mod Minor responding to MBO5 there. Mod Minor now works with you can say it's gone maybe a brain surgery, maybe, because we paid more for it to use a lot more brain of the AI that powers it. Big time, nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation. And without wasting much of your time, I'm gonna go to the presentation window, then open. Of course, my bro Vincent's timeline. That's where I like to go news hunting because he keeps it objective as again. Always, hardly ever gaslight. Don't even. I don't think I've ever seen him gaslighting people. If anything, he presents his opinion sometimes, and whenever he does that, he makes it clear. He puts, you can say, presents it in a manner that you know that certain aspect of that particular report is his opinion. But that's by the way. Let's see the results so far. So good. If we can go on a winning run, it'd be a good moral boost for the Champions League and the season, of course. And that's Tarum Sharma. Tarum Sharma, nice to see you. Thank you for finding the time to join the conversation. I do hope you're all doing well. And currently, how many likes do we have? We have 5 likes. We can do a lot better than 5 likes. We have 29 people following the show, and if half of you like the video, we'll have at least 10 likes. So please, if you haven't, take a second, drop a like on the video, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The likes do go a long way. And that's Mod Manor there saying hello to Tarum. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and open go news hunting as usual first. So news hunting on this page and Vince's timeline because I trust him. You could argue if you want to say because he's my bro, I take that, and he's a very humble guy if you get to know him. But yeah, every individual, irrespective of how good you are, you have haters. There are those who doesn't don't say anything. What how do I phrase it? Pleasing about him for lack of a more specific term. And I have my bro in the house in Mikael. Nice to see you, Mikael. I do hope you're doing well. Hey, coach, big win on the travels by the Rosenior. You're for Champions League Blues. How you feeling after the day before? Let me read that again to show how I was feeling the day before, or you mean yesterday, or the day before the game? Yesterday, I was confident we were going to get a result, but I didn't expect us to win in the manner we did. But still, a good win. The fact that they hadn't lost a game since October or December of 2024 or so, what? Yeah, I think around November, December period of 2024. That makes it an even bigger win, in my opinion. But look up close. I'm learning quite a lot that I didn't know. Rosenior knew how to do. I followed his Strasbourg team, and I thought I was concerned that he didn't know how to be pragmatic. It turns out he does know how to be pragmatic, and also he's very proactive, which is a huge difference between how he operates and how Enzo Maresca operated as Chelsea manager. But that was a huge win, a huge confidence booster too. It looks like they're buying into his idea, and the contrast between the first half and the second half, that gave me a lot of confidence. His ability to change things immediately showed how. And the Kukurea talked about how he urged them to at least have at least three touches before trying to progress. That way, we can camp things down. And boy, did it work! It worked to a T, honestly. But that's by the way. Hello to you too. You're saying we're training. We have a custom AI that we're developing that we're going to make public soon, but we're currently using it strictly for Chelsea perspective. It can respond. You can start a conversation with it, a debate maybe by typing exclamation mark debate, then write what you want to debate with it. You can ask it a question. You can tag mod manner, ask a question, and it will respond sensibly. Actually, it does have a character sometimes that comes across as feisty. In case it does, relax. We'll train it to be, you can say, to behave, for lack of a more relatable time. And my assistant that's in the house in Eugene, nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well, and I appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation. Uh, I am doing well, and I hope you've been well. It's been a minute. Hopefully, the case is just that you've been busy. And Tatum says it's still a young team mistake. We'll keep coming. We keep coming well. Okay. Need to still get results in big occasions. I think yesterday they're actually maturing quicker than I had expected, in my opinion. The mistake yesterday, I must say, was from the manager trusting them to be able to do well with just you can say a recognized center back. I think that was a mistake on his part, but he didn't let it stay that way for a long period of the game. He changed it immediately after the first half, and that worked to a T. I think he's an intelligent manager. I think the way you could say he's a good speaker, and that you could say that gives me confidence that he'd be able to communicate his ideas effectively. But beyond that, also, I've seen enough to know that he's actually an intelligent manager. And I like him, and I believe he will do well. And Mikhail here says, yes, still trying to suss out to suss out Rosenia. Is he all talks? Is he all talk or some all talk or some substance? And so far, we cannot complain. I cannot complain. Maybe because you didn't follow his Strasbourg team. He went uppercut to uppercut for uppercut against Luis Enrique's PSG, and I think he did beat them on two occasions. Even Enrique had to say publicly that he respects him. And on occasions, I think where they lost to them was when I thought maybe he didn't know how to be proactive. You could say pragmatic, because in those occasions, I think they led by 2 goals or so, but they were leading and then threw away the lead and lost those games in those occasions, and not those not just against PSG. There were other games where they were leading that they lost, and that led to me thinking that maybe he isn't that at the time he wasn't quite ready for Chelsea. But up close, I can see actually that yeah, he's a smart manager. He's able to adapt, and that gives me hope, honestly. And the fact that again, at some point, I did take a step back and reminded myself that yeah, he understands English football. He's coached 2 championship teams, and also has worked in the Premier League as a Brighton's youth team coach or something to that effect. I can't quite remember. So, but he's proven that he's able to adapt. And I think it's important that I reference the game against Brentford, where, as Bobby did put it, we at Brentford, and it was on papers. It wasn't pretty, but we won, and it was on papers. We could have just kept the ball and passed the ball around sideways, backwards, tried to control the game, but we approached the game the way Brentford are used to approaching the game. So probably they were startled. They weren't too sure how to counter. You can say they weren't too sure on what countermeasure to employ on the day, because we played differently. And I'm quite sure going into that game, Brentford probably thought we were going to go about, you can say, employ play the same way we played under Enzo Maresca, passing the ball around, taking it slowly, picking and choose when to attack. But under Rosenior, one thing is clear: a lot of vertical passes. Every pass is with intent. Even when we pass the ball around, we do it, though to a dangerous extent. We do it in a manner that we bait the opposition, force them sometimes angrily come at us, and try to bypass them as quickly as possible. And I'm quite sure some of you did hear, did watch, what's his name, João Pedro's post game interview, where he said for Liam, it is electric. And I agree. A lot of vertical passes, high octane football, everything, great intensity, and I like it. And I think Chelsea fans will like that a lot. But I don't think it's going to be pretty all the time, because he's a very smart man. Sometimes he changes it around, and with the priority of getting the result. Give me 1 second here. All right, thank you for that. And what do we have? Tarum says we need to get results now until end of February, because starting match will be Arsenal, Newcastle, and Aston Villa. I think we'll be ready for those games. We have the quality to beat them. And as long as the manager knows what he's doing, I think we get results. And the bigger the occasion, the more confident that I am that we get results. But let me take that back. This is not Thomas Tuchel. I think we will get good. We will get good results. This is not Enzo Maresca, so to speak. That you'd say certainly in big games we get results, but struggle against mid-table and bottom-table teams. Let's see. But Blue Lions, Chelsea, nice to see you. Big up to you too. Thank you for joining the conversation. I do hope you're doing well. Um, okay, you like the way Rosenior. I'm not sure whether that's a question. Okay, you kind of like the way he sees football. Yeah, he's a you could- I wouldn't go, I don't want to go to the measure of saying he's a tactical genius, but the signs are good. He's a very intelligent manager. More importantly, proactive. That's the word I'm going. That gives me hope. If he sees anything that doesn't work, he deals with it immediately. And the fact that he had to take off Gittins, who came off the bench, shows he doesn't make sentimental decisions. He doesn't let sentiment wield any measure of influence to the decisions he made. Because some people, you could say, will maybe think that's wrong. Why take him off? He came off the bench, and now I'm going to take him off. No, but he took him off immediately and did what he had to do so that we get a result. That gives me hope. That's the sort of decision you get from top level managers. And I know a lot of people there are still some doubt in him. And I can assure you that what we've seen so far, not as Ty did say in the group chat, that's not manager bounce. There are some issues, but that issues aren't managerial issues. They are down to the personnel we have. Let's be more specific here. Let's stick with the defensive aspect of stuff. That's where we have a lot of problems. Problems that have persisted from, let's say, even from Porter. Yeah, problems that have persisted from Porter to him now. Then that's why you could argue we're in a hurry now to sign Jérémy Jacquet. But that's, by the way, yep, I like him. I like him a lot. I like the direct football we're seeing, the vertical passes. Every pass is with the intent of displacing an opposition player. That makes me happy. Nagelsmann 2.0. I haven't actually thought about how the similarities between the two managers. You could, I think, probably the same. The aggressive pressing, vertical passes. I think I need to do that. And Mel is in the house. Mel, nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well, and I appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation. I cannot thank you enough for always stopping by to show your bro love. And then there you go, coach out. And Ty says, as we said, we will lose more games under Rosenior because of risk taking, than under Enzo Maresca. But we will probably win a lot more. We're not going to draw a lot. Yep, that's accurate. I think we've talked about that. We're not going to draw a lot. We will win a lot. And I'll take that, really. I'll take that. Gittins coming off after coming on was so shocking. No, if anything, for me, it tells me a lot about the manager. Yeah, he doesn't make sentimental decisions. It doesn't matter whether Gittins only stayed on the pitch for just 5 minutes or 3 minutes. He had to do what he had to do to get a result. He did what he had to do to get a result, and that makes me happy. I hate in real life, honestly. I hate dealing with people that you could say consider sentiments when making decisions. You don't achieve success by doing that. You don't. That made me happy. It didn't shock me. If anything, it tells me more about him. Nkrumah Nwuda says, I like that name, Nkrumah Nwuda. Nkrumah, Ghanaian hero. Yep. On the past Carefree Lewis stream, someone commented that Sanchez is a borderline world class and top three keepers, and top three keepers in the world. And Jimmy went on a rant about how all fans who think that should die. Here's the thing. I just that reminds me of something that Enzo Maresca said. I don't think it'd be correct at this point to say Sanchez is error prone. He had those, you could say, moments of lapses in concentration. Even the best, you could go watch Comes of Manuel Neuer's Howlers or David De Gea from former Manchester United, even Allison of Newcastle of Liverpool. But I digress. Enzo Maresca did say that they've looked at the situation and they've realized that Sanchez actually he will earn you more points than he will lose you by making mistakes from the mistakes he'd make on the pitch. And he's proven to be an excellent goalkeeper. Really, you could argue definitely he was the reason why that game didn't end in a draw yesterday. But you could argue at the same time Lukaku, that was you could argue he should be doing better with that. But in the moment he shot straight at him, could have gone in, but through his legs because that happens. It was a close range shot. Listen, let's give him his flowers. He improved, you can say, from mid-season, last 24-25 to the end of the season. He showed that, he deserves some respect. Improved one of the most important improvements for me, the high claims, the increased number of high claims, which helped us deal with set piece situations, which we struggled which we did struggle to deal with before mid-season, and till now, for me, I think it's been brilliant. Mistakes will always happen. Every now and then, he'd make mistakes too. He's a human being. It's not like he's a machine that's pre-programmed to do certain things in a certain way and only falters when there's an issue with the machine itself. So, but that also shows even machines do make mistakes sometimes. But that's, by the way, I'm happy with Sanchez. I was never his biggest. Was never his biggest fan, and I was one of those that believed actually that eventually that Philip Jorgensen will eventually become our number one. But I changed my mind. I've seen a lot that for me it'd be stupid to would have been actually stupid to sign Mayon as to come and replace him, really. And they say goalkeepers age like fine wine. Fine wine. The older they get, the better they become. So why try to move him on right now? Chances are he'd like to move. Chances are in the future he might want to move on, but I hope that doesn't happen. Even if Pendas even if he comes back to Chelsea, I think both should be first and second choice goalkeepers. Eventually, it's clear now that Philip Jorgensen will move on. Says Kachila, it's soccer perspective still in the plans. It's still we will iron that out, but I need to. You can say we've lived in Texas here for a year plus, but I not fully settled yet. There's still a lot going on. It makes it difficult, and because my in-laws they're not around, it makes it a lot more difficult for me. But we'll figure it out soon. Don't worry. Soccer perspective, yeah, still in the plans. Yeah, absolutely. But my first love will always be Chelsea perspective. Maybe what I do in the end for soccer perspective will be, you know, I think the more accurate way to phrase it would be going to business with interested individuals to give it its own life, for lack of a more specific or relatable term there. And then Kuruma Unwuda says we should fight harder for Sanchez because he is a statistically a better shot stopper and cross climber than Donnarumma, who people call world class. I'd take him over Donnarumma anytime, any day. Donnarumma, most likely, is he taller? But I think he's not good at orchestrating high claims. I remember calling him tall for nothing, actually. Ty says that the Gaten thing reminds me of Tuchel with Hudson Odoi. Yeah, Mourinho does such too. It doesn't matter. In Gaten's case, I don't necessarily think it was down to his performance on the pitch. I think it was down to the fact at the time, I think the manager decided, okay, you know what, let's just close this out. But I'd have to watch it again and pay attention. Who came in for him and what time exactly was he taken off? But I think it was a tactical thing, not necessarily based on his performance. Okay, we go news hunting here. The first item here: Tottenham are not among clubs that are interested in signing Raheem Sterling. He's after his Chelsea release. And here's something I want to say there. Sterling probably would. I think he'd love to join. He would love to join Tottenham or a rival club, so he gets a chance to play against us. A Premier League club, so he'd get a chance to play against us and maybe score against us and celebrate in front of our fans. Because he does come across as if he feels like Chelsea did him dirty. You could argue the statement from his camp which was when we realized that he's not going anywhere, and I think he's milked us enough, gotten you could say a bulk payment in the end, because irrespective of the sort of agreement they reached, he'd get you could say a bulk payment before agreeing to you could say packing his stuff and leaving the bridge. But yeah, goodbye to him, and once again, I'd like to say thank you to Raheem Sterling for his services. It didn't really work out, and I don't know. I wouldn't go to the extent of saying. Anyway, he was a professional, but the moment you say we heard, the moment we started hearing it from his camp, even before the manager makes it public that yeah, he's been deemed surplus to requirement. I didn't like that. I realized that yeah, he wasn't going anywhere. Probably was ready to stay, keep earning the money every week without even playing, kicking the ball for the club, and not even training with the academy. I mean, a huge lesson for the club, really. 300 and around 310,000 pounds per week. That's a lot of money, really. But yeah, he's milked us enough, and this now he's and as if we knew that was exactly what's going to happen, and the club had to tell him, okay, man, come, let's talk. How much would you like us to pay you for you to pack your shit and go? Yeah, probably because yeah, I think whatever I don't know the sort of agreement. I don't know how much he was paid. But definitely the club definitely um, did save some money from that. Will save some money from that. Um, because if it wouldn't make any sort of sense if they just did it for the sake of doing it without saving something from it. Um, but despite the way, let's see. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. We have 50 people in total, 33 on YouTube. The rest are shared between X and Facebook with that equally. Coachella doesn't know, but if you haven't, please take a second, drop a like on the video, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And if you're following the show, if you're viewing the vertical if you're viewing it in a vertical format, what you need to do is just double tap your screen. And as you do that, pay attention to the likes count. If it increases by one, then it most definitely captured your like. Or you can just press and hold the screen for just about a second, and then you see all the bells and whistles, which includes the like, comment, and share options. Please help us increase the likes count, because the more likes we garner, the more the YouTube algorithm will be triggered and be forced to push the stream to more people who would be interested in the topics we have lined up. Okay, Nkrumah Nguda says we should fight harder for Sanchez. I think I've addressed that one. The Gittins I've addressed that one too. And also, Sterling was a great player, just not for Chelsea. I think probably I've heard people say that we signed him. You could say we didn't sign him we signed him at the wrong time. He was already washed before we signed him. You could argue to some extent accurate, but we're all speaking in hindsight now. A lot of us were happy that we were able to get the deal across the line because there were other clubs interested. And I mean, it makes sense to argue had Thomas Tuchel remained our manager and not fired when he was fired, maybe he'd have a better record for us. But there's no way to tell. It is what it is. The chances are he joins the club as a free agent now, gets the bag, gets more bag because he will definitely get a sign-on fee because yeah, he's a free agent. Maybe he'd be a lot happier than yeah he's been in the last 12 months or so, the last 2 years maybe, and he'll start firing on all cylinders again because he's experienced and there's a good player in there. The question is whether he'd be able to still rekindle or show the sort of form he showed at his peak as a Man City player. So this year, Axel the CC, this is Vince also quoting Fabrizio Romano, and he reads, Axel the CC close to joining West Ham on loan as talks advance to final stages. So I thought he was going to leave on a permanent basis this time, but yeah, it's not happening. Actually, the CC is heading to West Ham on loan. He is what's his name, the Portuguese coach. He is his type of defender, more traditional. Was Bruno is that his name? Yeah, I think Bruno is his first name. What's his last name again? Expo. I can't say it, but let's stick with Bruno. So we'll be reading a lot of commentaries from a lot of comments from the manager post game presser. And then as we progress down further on this timeline, chances are we'd see some interesting news items to address. But please, people, keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. And once again, we're using a custom-made, you could call it specialized AI tool that is able to start a conversation with you. You can ask it a question, just tag it, Mod Mana. You'd see, I think probably it's been active in the chat. You can tag it. You can do exclamation mark debate and start a debate with Mod Mana. He will debate with you, but there are limits to the number of times you will go back and forth with the machine, so we don't exhaust the quota, the brain quota. That's, I think, that the more relatable term there to use. So you can have fun with it. Let's see, what else do we have here? We've addressed all those ones, and we have, I said, this is see Badiashile Tosin out, bringing up Bastoni. That's never going to happen. I think Badiashile will finish the season, if anything. If he and Badiashile, I think he's not a bad player. He's had form. You can say he's struggled to stay fit, and had he been fit for a while now, I think by now he'd be showing the sort of form he showed when a lot of us were questioning why we didn't add him to our Champions League squad at the time. I think it's a confidence thing. I think eventually, if he stays fit and plays continuously, I think he'd regain that form he showed at the time. So he's not a bad player, and I don't think the club will be in a hurry to sell him. He will finish the season, even if he will end up leaving Chelsea. I think it's not going to be now. I don't think we can afford to let two defenders leave now beyond our access to CC. Badiashile good, but not Chelsea standard. Okay, that might well be the case. Well, in all honesty, I don't think it's a bad player. It's a confidence thing, in my opinion. I like Bada. He probably doesn't want to be backup. That again. Let's see what happens. Really, Viega was better than Badiashile. Viega made his bed and is currently lying on it the way he made it. Here's the thing: Viega, Maresca liked him because, yeah, he's a versatile player. He can fulfill the left back role. He can fulfill the sixth role, traditional sixth role. He can also fulfill the CB role, and he has a very good passing range in him. And he has that passion that we like in Chelsea players, like the legends, the sort of passion you get from John Terry, Frank Lampard, Michael Essien. He has it, but wasn't patient, and I don't blame him. Actually, he look at what happened. I took some time to do a research and figured out that was why he had to leave. He got a chance to represent the Portuguese national team, and the only area he had the chance to play was in the CB position. And at Chelsea, whenever you see him on the pitch, it was mainly as a left back or as a six. And there's no way he'd get a chance to play consistently, to be called up to represent the Portuguese national team consistently, if he doesn't play in a position where the Portuguese national team manager wants to play him at Chelsea. So he had to now request for a loan move. Juventus, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, where they were in need of a CB at the time, and actually the club didn't want to sell him. The club will have I think part of the agreement was that he'd come back and will travel with us to the United States for the Club World Cup. But by the time he returned, we learned actually that you could say Enzo Maresca was just pretending that he was okay with him leaving on loan, and to play more, he had to leave on loan. It turns out he wasn't happy that he asked to leave on loan in the first place, which is, from the manager's perspective, understandable. I don't think it makes sense to him to just go out on loan, come back, and then it was okay, yeah, let's go. We're going to United States. I don't think it would have made sense for the manager to do that. Because there were other players who were available for. The kid had to do what he had to do. I would have loved Chelsea to keep him, because he has that aggression, the passion you want from you, the sort of passion that we were only able to experience from our legends, which includes Didier Drogba, Frank Lampard, Michael Essien, John Terry, all of them. So, but it is what it is. He's moved on now. I liked him a lot, but I just have to move in. So Joe Cole, he's changed his tone. I think I remember reading something that suggests he wasn't happy that the club, that Chelsea decided to hire Liam Rosenior. A rant, actually. It was a rant, not just him expressing his opinion, but it was a rant that Chelsea fans were circulating on X at the time, saying, "There you go, a true legend." But because a lot of Chelsea fans don't follow Strasbourg, and a lot of Chelsea fans, you can say, I'm not sure they won an established. I think it'd be correct to say an established name or an elite manager, the way they like to say it. But even the biggest clubs in world football these days don't go for the so-called elite manager for multitude of reasons. But I digress. I don't want to get into that. So, but he's changing his tone now. Now he said, Jacob, Liam Rosenior is still getting his style of play in, okay? But the character was really impressive. A Chelsea team who went behind could have gotten rolled over a few months ago. So he's instilled something in them. The lads look happy. João Pedro can sometimes look a bit on the periphery, but he was right at it tonight. It was a good performance. Yes, then, irrespective of who, the fact that yeah, we're talking about Joe Cole here. I think sometimes we all behave like the average football fan. Uh, from the perspective of what they say, that you can say how they speak about the team or the manager or the club, uh, almost always driven by the outcome of a particular game, either a draw or win or a loss. 99.9% of the times, the opinion of an average fan, football fan, will be driven. You can say that the outcome of a game drives the opinion of an average football fan, not just Chelsea fans, irrespective of whatever that might have happened. You could say beyond the result. The average fan doesn't look beyond result. Yeah, it takes an understanding of the game to know. You know what? We were lucky not to have won the game. We hit the woodwork. We hit the woodwork like 3 times. We finished with an XG of 7.9. They finished with an XG of 0.59, but 1-1-0. The average football fan doesn't care. If a loss, if the team loses a game, they judge the manager, the players by that loss. Not a lot of fans pay attention to the number, to pay attention to what numbers say. Let's see. Napoli wasn't full strength. Does it matter? Mr. Skills shots. Let's talk about this. Does it really matter? It doesn't matter. If we lose to them, a lot of people will be talking about how we weren't able to beat a depleted Napoli. So it doesn't freaking matter. How many people you could say this when I'm quite sure you've heard how people the first leg of cup game against Arsenal that we lost. How many people do you think care about the fact that we had about 4 or 5 players out with the flu or something similar? I can't quite remember what it was that led to a lot of our players not being available for selection. Do they care? They don't. So it doesn't matter whether Napoli was in full strength. We beat them, and we beat them. Yeah, it was a dramatic, you could say a dramatic finish to the game, but we beat them. It doesn't really matter. Had we lost, yeah, we're not. I'm quite sure for 28 days plus, our fans will not stop talking about how we weren't able to beat a depleted Napoli team. It doesn't matter. We beat them, and that's all I want to talk about. And we deserve to win. Yeah, the manager experimented, and it nearly led to us losing the game. But I'm just happy he realized immediately that his initial plan was going to lead to us most likely leading the game. He changed things around, and we dominated until the end of the game. And that's what we beat them. I don't care whether they even they had McTominay too suspended. It doesn't really matter to me. All right, Liam Rosenior said that Jamie Gittins came on against Napoli and made a huge difference. So this alone, I get it. Irrespective of how you see it, he had to take him off because he decided to do things differently, or you could say to introduce something different, and to ensure we win the game. He took Jamie Gittins off, not necessarily, as I've said before, not necessarily down to his performance on the day. And I wouldn't say that was the case. But yeah, people will probably say, a lot of people that wouldn't, I don't think they'd have the time to discuss whether it was a tactical thing. That just, I think a lot of them would stick with, yeah, he was so poor he had to take him off, even though he was introduced off the bench. But that's absolute nonsense. So let's see, Reece James. It's super early in the competition, but it was a special performance from a special group. The result spoke for themselves. We are still getting to know him and the style of football he wants to play, but we are improving. And I think that will get at a lot of results. And that will also lead to, we're probably going to lose a lot because of the sort of risk we take, but we'll win a lot more than we'd win if he had Enzo Maresca remained our manager. Yeah, the Champions League is his thing. Actually, he's still good at Chelsea. Not perfect yet. Listen, one of the reasons why I'm willing to give a lot of these players time is the fact that none of them, they haven't had a full preseason. They didn't have full preseason, and the managerial change also is a factor. Just going from one approach to learning how the new manager likes to approach the game, that's huge. It's not something you should look at and feel like, yeah, this should just like adaptation. You changing up. You can say it's never easy when clubs change. When there's a managerial change, I get it. They have a lot of similarities in terms of the hallmark of their preferred approach to football, but the listen, that's a huge difference too. So I don't want to be on the case of any of these players, even Liam Delap, as I think he will still come good. The signs are good, in my opinion. Gittins also, Ganacho, and these people were mentioning. Actually, I think you should look at their numbers, their output. Look at their numbers. Don't just rely on what you see alone. I get it. You have to look at the numbers too, but which means you see the numbers too. I'd like you to bring the numbers to the table. Bring however you want to record your eye test. Bring that to the table too. Allow them to independently come. You can say allow them to complement each other. Then you come to a sensible conclusion whether they've been poor as a lot of people have made it out to be, or whether they've done well. Gittins, he hasn't been that bad. He hasn't. I think he has 5 assists and how many goals? Ganacho has around 5 goals plus or so, irrespective of the competitions or respective competitions where they scored those goals. It's still important to give them credit to judge them objectively. First of all, consider the fact, yeah, they haven't had full preseason. And right now, I think it's important to also consider the fact that, yeah, we've had a managerial change. It's important. In the case of the lap injuries that he's had, haven't allowed him the time to actually let's say come into his own or adapt properly. Same thing with Gittins. He was ill at some point, and I think he did suffer a minor injury at some point too. So these are factors that, if we're being objective, we have to take them into account before deciding whether they've done well or whether they haven't lived up to expectations. But that's my opinion anyway. You have every right to judge them the way you feel like is right. Because you're entitled to your opinion, and we all are. I'm entitled to mine too. But yeah. Let's see. The manager said, I'm guessing, the manager said he had to put Badiashile for defending Lukaku. He had no choice. Exactly. But do you think a lot of fans see that? They don't. They will tell you, what they will run with is that Gittins was so poor that the manager had to take him off. But that wasn't the case. Even though, listen, but I knew immediately it was a tactical decision. But yeah, with other things going on, taking notes and all that, it wasn't what immediately I wasn't able to tell what happened. But I knew it was definitely a tactical decision, and I think he's proven to be. He's such an excellent speaker, a communicator, maybe that he. I think probably by now. I think they already have probably most by now have had a conversation with Gittins explaining why he had to do that. And I don't think Gittins, I don't think he'd have a problem with that. And I think he starts our next game. So, but unfortunately, Gavi Moxie 9714. Thank you so much for joining the conversation. It looks like this is your first time here. If this is your first time, Gavi, welcome to Chelsea Perspective. We appreciate you. Please express yourself, feel at home. Here, your opinion matters. All we ask of you is to keep it civil. So we continue news hunting. Reece James and Cole Palmer. Manchester United, they're dreaming. And Sky Sports, they've actually, pundits or personnel, I'm not sure what be the most accurate language, general language to use there. They've refused to let it go. They're still talking about it. They continue trying to, you could say, counter Rosenior's statement that Kopama is untouchable and on and on. But here's the thing: the fact is, they did agree that he would take. I think one of them said something he would take like 100 million to convince Chelsea to sell him. I don't think Chelsea will sell Kopama for even 150 million. I don't think so. And shockingly, one of the presenters on the day did say that Chelsea will probably take 100 million for Cole Palmer. That shocked me, which means that they're going by the, you could say, stupid narrative that the owners are here just to flip players for profits. And I'm going to say something I've said 1,000 times once again. Flip how many players to break even after spending billions? Yeah, let alone make a profit. How many players are they going to flip? Even flipping players will not be enough to break even with regard to, let's say, if we're saying things from how much the club spends on player salaries every year. So I looked at them, I was like, if I had the chance to meet this guy, I'll tell him, you just proved on live TV that you're an idiot. And you shouldn't be there, really. But unfortunately, it's a topic that's of immense interest, great interest to Chelsea fans. So them talking about it brings the clicks, gets more audience to watch them, respond in anger. You can say it could be rage bait, or it could be something that United are sponsoring to test the waters. Maybe it's a way of them trying to see if they can turn Cole Palmer's head. But it's not going to happen. They had their chance and didn't give him opportunity that he had to leave and join Manchester City. Yeah. So I've seen. Listen, kids will always be. After Semenyo was pictured wearing, actually a video, actually wearing a Chelsea kit, referred to Chelsea as we. Yeah. What happened? What club does he play for right now? Victor Osimhen pictured wearing a Chelsea jersey as a young boy. What club does he play for right now? And we wanted him. So kids that are kids, I've known people that as kids that wanted to become something in particular when they grow up, but they're all grown up now, and some of them aren't even doing something close to that stuff that were mentioning as kids. So they can dream, but I can assure you, Chelsea will not sell Cole Palmer for even 150 million. They'll tell you that because they understand his importance. They know how good he is. They know how good he can become. He's not going anywhere. But that's by the way, Lusula, thank you for joining the conversation. I appreciate you. How many likes? Let me see how many likes we have right now. 19 likes. We should be doing a lot better than that. We have 60 people following the show on YouTube. If half of you like the video, we'd have at least 30 likes. Let's get the likes up, people. Yes, shamelessly, we're still begging for likes. And in total, we have 29,150 subscribers. We're getting closer and closer to 30K subscribers. Let's get there as soon as possible. I know we can. He needs to win Premier League and the Champions League. I mean, he can. But the Premier League this season, I don't think we can. Champions League, we still can. On the two occasions that we've won that trophy, the Champions League trophies that we've won, nobody gave us a chance. Give me 1 second. Sorry, guys, there's no school today again, so my boys are home, which makes it difficult to concentrate full time. Let's say what does we have here? Chelsea's like a London boss in it. You wait ages for a win, then two comes along at once. That's Mod Mana, the AI that's policing the time for us. We're training it to be independent of human, you can say, triggers, for lack of a more specific term, triggers in terms of needing to click something for it to execute certain tasks, and it done well so far. We're still training it. Maybe we'll make it available for the public, maybe not. So Raheem Sterling's representatives are in talks with seven interested clubs after he mutually agreed to terminate his Chelsea contract. Yeah, listen. He was never. Again, it was always going to be difficult for him to find a club that match his salary at Chelsea. So now that he's a free agent, tons of clubs will be interested. Even though, yeah, it's not like he's not been ripping up trees since joining Chelsea and on loan at Arsenal. I think that was a failed loan, in my opinion. He actually stand the whole place up at Arsenal. Didn't do well during his loan spell there, which he did tell us to watch out how, something that suggests he was going to show us what we were missing or how big of a mistake it was to have let him leave on loan to Arsenal. But that's by the way. Also, Vince quoting Killian Gill. He says that there's room for improvement, but he is a confident boy. João Pedro has openly discussed his dream of winning the Ballon d'Or someday and heading the lineup for Brazil at a Summer World Cup. I think he will be there. At some point, you can say, I judged him too quickly. Like, yeah, like an average fan. Most fans did. I think, but this kid, my goodness, I think he's some talent, and he's just 23. Correct me if I'm wrong. João Pedro is just 23, but what a player he is. I think we've, for some reason, the lack of consistency in terms of the role he's fulfilled for us he's fulfilled for Chelsea, you can say, led to some of you can say to him struggling a bit like he did under Enzo Maresca. And we're learning today whether it'd be accurate to consider that a brief from the club, or the club just wanting to dent Enzo Maresca's name or reputation. But I don't think that's the case. The fact that we learned a few weeks ago that he refused to listen to the advice of the medical team. So, but today we learned that João Pedro wanted to be left out of the squad because he wasn't fully fit, and the manager persisted and played him. Houston, I don't want to start judging Enzo Maresca because I love him. There's a lot I like about him. There's also a lot that I'd like him to improve as a manager, but that's by the way. But this kid, in all honesty, I think he will surprise a lot of people. He has power, pace, intelligence, makes excellent runs. He's an excellent finisher, and as much as listen, I've heard people argue that actually that Nicholas Jackson is actually a much better player. I couldn't believe that when I heard that. But that's by the way, Histon. I'm just gonna enjoy João Pedro. I don't want to talk about Nicholas Jackson anymore. He's no longer a Chelsea player. The club, in my opinion, wanted to keep him. He forced his way out because he didn't like the fact that he has to now start competing with two other good players. Unfortunately, but Histon, this guy some talent. And my goodness, he's just 23. He is just 23. He's one of those players because how early in their career they emerged onto the top, onto the you can say high top scenes or top level football. How early they started playing top level football. If you weren't reminded, and sometimes if you're not reminded how old they are, you think that they are in their late 20s or early 30s. But he's just 23, and look, he's not perfect. You could argue to some extent sometimes on the pitch he does come across as a raw in certain aspects of the game. But my goodness, he's such an underrated player. I'm just happy we signed him for how much we signed him for. I think 55 to 60. I can't quite remember. He says, does João Pedro play both next games? Chelsea have a rotation, but maybe João should be given a run considering his form. Um, I don't I don't buy the idea of running the bus until the wheels fall off. I think we should. The same thing. You can say we should have him on the bench, even if he's not starting. Have him on the bench in case we need him. In case things don't pan out the way the manager had planned, he'd have the option to bring in a player as good as João Pedro on the bench. So rotation is key. Rotation is important because you don't want to continue playing certain players until they burn out. The moment a player burns out, then you can still select them. They be on the pitch, but you can only tell that they are used by their decision making or overall output on the pitch. But my point is, I don't think we should do that. Liam, the lab can do a good job as a nine. But I think the manager might need to tweak things a little bit because the lab is more of a traditional number nine than he is a hybrid number nine, which you would say if you think João Pedro is a number nine, then definitely he's a hybrid number nine, given his skill set. Oh, yeah, his overall skill set. Whereas the lab, he's also able to drop the participate in the play and create for his teammates. And on the Liam Rosenior, actually, he did play on the flanks too. But here's the thing. Overall, in all honesty, the lap is more of a traditional number nine. Maybe you could say he's the way he applies himself on the pitch to some extent influences my thinking that yeah, he's more of a traditional number nine, or maybe his build, maybe those are the reasons why it is usually you say it's easy for one to just look at him and say yeah, he's more of a traditional number nine, but he does have a lot more to his game. But unfortunately for him, because of his build and the aggressive approach we see from him on the pitch, on all the aspect of his application on the pitch, it almost always again there's hardly, you can say it's difficult not to not to actually just tag him a traditional number nine, even though he can actually operate as a hybrid number nine. But that's by the way. But maybe Zhao should be given. No, I don't think we should do that. It's a huge risk. Yeah, even when he's not playing, make sure you have him on. You can say if you want to make sure he's available to help, you can have him on the bench and give someone else a chance. Then, if things don't go as planned, you can bring him on. Clubs managers do that all the time. João Pedro is such a striker and better than Jackson. I don't want to get into that argument, but I'd take him over Jackson anytime, any day. I'm just going to stick with the obvious with the obvious difference between the two players, he's a much better finisher than Nicholas Jackson. He's better aerially. Nicholas Jackson hardly ever scores headers. The one header, the last header he scored for Chelsea, which was against Real Betis in the Conference League final, you could say the reason he was actually able to score it was that Cole Palmer, who put in the cross in the box, you could say targeted his head. Even though Nicholas Jackson didn't time the header, I think the ball hit his face, actually, not his forehead, and went into the net. If it wasn't for the accuracy, I think it'd be accurate to say if it wasn't for the accuracy of the cross from Cole Palmer, he'd miss it. I'm not saying he's a bad player. He's an excellent player. His hold-up play is good. He's good at making decisive runs in behind the opposition defensive line. He tracks back effectively if the manager wants him to. He can create for his teammates. He has good dribbling skills, but he doesn't shoot instinctively. He'd get 10 chances and only score 3.5 sometimes. You get my point right now. That number isn't accurate, by the way, but I just used it in a manner that you understand my point. So yeah, if I have to choose between the Lab and Nicholas Jackson, I'll choose the Lab. I'll choose Nicholas Jackson because he has a lot more to his game than the Lab, and eventually will become a much better finisher. But if I have to choose, if the choice is between João Pedro and what's his name, and the Lab, I'll choose João Pedro. João Pedro and Nicholas Jackson, I'll choose João Pedro. But that's by the way. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. And Shipanga Martin says, sadly, we only have one Enzo Fernandez. That's a point. We don't have anyone else capable of doing what Enzo Fernandez does for Chelsea Football Club. We don't, unfortunately. That's actually the delicious comment of the day. And by the way, my bro, dang it, that's a tongue twister. It's difficult to read. 2True_TV. Nice to have you on the chat, in the chat, my bro. I do hope you're doing well, and I appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation. We have to plan a collaboration, bro. We have to, and I want to have you on the panel. If you can follow me on X so that I can add you to the panelist group, I really would like to have you on the panel whenever time allows. And you can plan the collaboration to be on your end. I'm open, bro. Let's plan one. But as I have you there, and the Shipanga Martin said, sadly, we only have one Enzo Fernandez. And then I have to say, that's the delicious comment of the day. Unfortunately, in every other position, you could say, yeah, Moses Caicedo, if he's not playing, Romeo Lavia can fulfill his role, even though they're not, you could say, accurately, you could say similar. If maybe say it's an accurate way to phrase it. Also, at least that helps me. Present my opinion effectively. For Romeo Lavia, he can also fulfill the Moses Caicedo role, but he's much better at beating the press than Caicedo and Isugo. Isugo, more of Caicedo in terms of aggression. But in terms of controlling, you can say the temper of dictating the pace of the game, beating the press, and the vision. My goodness, Enzo Fernandez's vision. I don't think anyone at Chelsea can measure his vision. If anybody else is any other player is close to measuring his vision, it will be Levi Colwill, even though he's a defender, because Levi Colwill, even as a defender, he does have excellent vision and excellent passing range. So that comment there, my word, that's a delicious comment, and you deserve some fireworks here. Such a delicious comment, honestly. Yeah. Fernandez, we needed to do something in that position before he runs out of energy. Everything goes through him going forward, and unfortunately, some people actually, even though we've learned that from again in his, you could say, you think that in his absence that a lot of Chelsea fans had the opportunity to learn more about his importance. They haven't. There's some Chelsea fans just will not like him, irrespective of how you explain his importance to them. Unfortunately, but I think the manager knows, the owners know, and if you understand football, you'd know his importance to the way we play. Even though we've changed managers, also we're seeing signs that he'd end up being Liam Rosenior's one of Liam Rosenior's most important players. He is that good, really. Yeah, unfortunately, it is what it is. Looked stiff and sulky. Okay, and silky, so to speak. Whatever you said, you disagree. Always nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well, Chimera, and thank you for finding the time to join the conversation. So, a little more stuff here, news hunting. Then we will start looking at what we can learn from the numbers for the game that ended. Napoli 2, Chelsea 3. And Napoli, before that game, hadn't lost in like 12 months or so, or 11 months plus, 10 months plus, I don't know, but something close to a year. But we beat them. And had it not been for the manager's experiment at the start of the game, experimental selection maybe, I think we could have actually won the game um, without considering any. So he took a risk and it backfired to a certain measure, and I'm just happy he was proactive in making with his changes to ensure things don't get worse. We actually played better, much better in the second half, controlled the game, and interesting to hear what Kukurea had to say, that he told them to ensure they had 3 touches before trying to progress, penetrate the opposition area. Let's see with yeah, we have creativity issues. Palmer is the only you can say he brings a different sort of a different type of creativity. Enzo Fernandez brings a different type of creativity, but we need more creative players on the pitch that can actually, on a good day, come from the flanks. Gittins is able to create. What's his name? Estavo Willian is able to create, irrespective of whether he's central or on the flanks. So, but I get your point. I keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. An update on Chelsea's pursuit of Rennes, Jérémy Jacquet. This reads, and this is Vince also quoting Fabrizio Romano. Rennes insists that Jérémy Jacquet should leave in the summer, not now. They want to keep the player, but Chelsea want to insist, push, and try for this opportunity to bring in Jacquet immediately, but they know it's going to be very expensive. So, okay, let's read between the lines. The detail is, like you said, they say it's in what wasn't said, or what, yeah. Let's look at it right now. They're open to selling him, but it would take some record fee from their perspective, given how much they sold Dogu for. I think it would take a record-breaking fee to convince them to sell him now. Then, if we want to pay less, most likely we'd have to agree to them keeping him for the rest of the season, which we've heard, which I think I've heard from certain reporters. We learned from certain reporters, read from their report that, yeah, they're looking to keep him to the end of the season. And I think we might end up agreeing to that term and paying them a reduced fee um, compared to their asking fee, and then let the kid finish the season there. Madrid are interested. Bayern, not Madrid. Bayern Munich are interested. Liverpool are interested, and according to Fabrizio Romano, I think it was a few days ago, both clubs. I don't know where, I can't quite remember what he said, but let's just leave it at both clubs are interested. So not just us. And the reason that we're most likely, the reason I believe we're pushing to sign him now, that's going by what Dante said a few days ago. We know that come summer, there'll be a lot of clubs are ready to sign him, and I think it'd be a lot more difficult for us to be able to get the deal across the line in the summer. So now we have the opportunity to wrap up the deal. Maybe we'll end up paying them, matching their asking price, but he's not going to come cheap. and because they know that other clubs are interested, they're not going to be in a hurry to sell him. And if they end up selling him in summer, they get a lot more money than they get if they sell him now. So that's unfortunate for us. But let's see how that pans out. Gittins cannot create his own. Yes, then let's say this. Gittins at Dortmund was more of a goal scorer than a creator, and that's because he's still, you can say, he's still raw. I get it. He did well for Dortmund in the Champions League and some of the games he played, other games he played for them, and was one of the best dribblers in world. You can say in Europe at the time. He was in the um, uh, top 1%. Yep, even better than Nico Williams and some of the top dribblers that come to mind. The truth remains he's still raw to a certain measure, and but I digress. My point is, at Dortmund, he was more of a goal scorer than a creator. Now, at a club like Chelsea, I think he will take some maturity, maybe quicker than I think he will. I think it will take some maturity for him to start producing a balance and output that have a balance of goals and assists. Eventually, because he's a winger, he'd eventually start having a lot more assists than goals. But there's a good player in there. His Chelsea player, his Chelsea assists compared, he's also the goals he scored for Chelsea to the ratio of games he's played, not bad. And I think I looked at it 3 days ago or so, still not bad. But I get it. A lot of okay, the average football fan look beyond doesn't look beyond the output of games to pay attention to other factors that decide how a game pans out. But despite the way, Rennes, not sure. I'm not sure what you're saying there. There was a French team, I think. That okay? Are you talking about our sister club? Our sister club is Strasbourg. But I don't think we're getting any player there right now. Except if we're able to convince them to take Anselmino on loan and send Mahmoud Sarr back to Chelsea, because Mahmoud Sarr, the current Strasbourg captain, was he was a mainstay in the lineup on that Rosenior, and he likes him. And the kid with AFCON exploits, how well he did in the final, even replacing a legend as Koulibaly, he didn't put a foot wrong. So it's a bit it's kind of it's a somewhat confusing situation. And I thought when I heard that we've recalled Anselmino, I thought we've recalled him to become part of the squad, and then we're learning. The manager also did say he will have a conversation with him with regards with the plans that he has for him. I'm not sure how else to interpret that. And then we heard from some journalists that the plan is to still send him out on loan. It's confusing, so I'm not sure what to believe when it comes to the future of Anselmino. So I'm just gonna leave it out there. But I want us to sign this kid, and I think I'd say we can actually have this kid, have Anselmino, and then Mahmoud Sa. But I think definitely, which would mean that you definitely have to let one or two more CBs go. Chelsea really want Jérémy Jacquet, and this was Jacquet, and I think that's how you pronounce it correctly. 5 hours ago, Chelsea really want Jérémy Jacquet now, and really want to go all in. It reminds me of the situation of Enzo Fernandez in 2023, January 2023 transfer window. So I think because we're concerned that other clubs will swoop in the summer and maybe be a lot more difficult for us to sign him. So maybe we will wrap up the deal now. I honestly don't know what's going to happen, but I want us to sign uh, Jackie because he's a good player. All right, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the conversation this evening. It's still 6:31 p.m. CST. Thank you for joining. From the shed end, that's Mod Mana saying hello to people. You said Gittins was more of a goal scorer. So where did you see him create. No, he's created because we listen. The chances is created. They were all the, those that got at the end of the chances didn't put out them away. But I still remember one. I think that one was against. I don't. I will look at his numbers in a bit. That one was against Wolves that he created for Pedro Neto. Gittins isn't a bad player. It's a matter of him adapting properly and him playing. You can say a lot, playing good minutes to start doing. Because remember, he didn't have a hasn't had a full preseason with us really. He's had injuries too, and then also you have to take into account managerial change. I don't think it makes sense to start judging him by just, you can say, eye test alone. I'd like you to go look at numbers and see what numbers tell you. No kidding. Give me a second here. Let me see Gittins Chelsea stats. I don't want to go to our web app until I change this system. Our web app has some issues. It will slow down the system a bit. So he's played 7 matches. He has okay, 1 Premier League assists. Is it? Oh no, 1 Champions League assist for Chelsea. Yeah. 2 Premier League assists. 2 EFL Cup assists. That's 5 assists in total. And he has 2 goals, 1 EFL goal. No, 1 goal. He has just 1 goal. So that's not bad, given the fact that he's played 7 matches. How many matches in total? Sorry, let me count them. Not 7 matches alone. He's played a lot more matches, but all of them, he not let's say not all. He didn't start in all of them. It was just a few minutes here and there. So if we're being objective, for me, I'd say it hasn't actually been a bad start to life as a Chelsea player. But because of how much we paid for him, and you can say the you can say the unfair expectations from the fans. For me, he's not been that bad. He hasn't, and he will still start. Because again, if he continues to play, I think he will start performing consistently. Yeah. Let's see. No more kids, please. Let's see what they do. Okay, let's see anything else here. If Gittins is creative, Ganacho must be next level. Gittins is actually more creative than Ganacho. Ganacho is more direct. Um, yeah, I think you know that already. Ganacho Gittins is a much better dribbler than Ganacho. Yeah, I think Ganacho is quicker, and Ganacho, to some extent, more like Timo Werner, needs a lot of space to be effective. Yeah, in most cases. Show us the stats. No, I'm not. You can Google it. Just go to Google and type Gittins Chelsea stats. It will present them to you in this again. Leveling each competition accordingly. You will see everything there. Road King underscore TV. Are we going to get Jeremy in January? It's difficult to say. And this report here, by on Vince's timeline, quoting Fabrizio Romano, right on time for you. He reads, Chelsea really wants Jeremy Jacquet now, and really want to go all in. And you can say the reason Chelsea wants to go all in is probably the fear of other players. You can say coming into play in the summer. Bayern are interested, Liverpool are interested, but at the moment the kid says, yeah, he wants Chelsea. His preference would be to join Chelsea. And I've heard people ask the question, why? What are we telling these kids that they uh, that they that they prefer coming to Chelsea? And I told them, look, the project sells itself, not necessarily for how successful it is or how unsuccessful it's been, but you get the point. I just had to say both to maybe have a balanced presentation from that perspective, so you don't feel like, of course, I'm going to say it's successful. But here's the thing. Let me simplify it. Look at all our players. How old is Estavo? 18. How old is Malo Gusto? How old is who else there? How old is Uriel Hatter? He's playing. How old is Jeremy Gittins? How old is Alejandro Ganacho? How old is João Pedro? 23. Check it. So, but you cannot say the same uh, for Bayern. He might, yeah, Bayern. If he goes to Bayern, there's no guarantee he'd be starting over the established, more experienced CBs that they have. Liverpool, you could say the same thing. And is it what's that that guy that we've been hearing for a thousand years, for 100 years right now? That yeah, that Madrid are making a move for him. If he, but yes, and let me just keep it as simple as possible. If he goes to Liverpool, I don't think he'd be playing that much. So, as I've said, the project sells itself. It's a project for kids. As long as you're good, you get to play. It's really that simple. Let's see. He says, does Chelsea know they are linked with this? They know. I mean, if you're getting a report like this from the transfer guru himself, why not? We do know. We do know. Um, but yeah, I don't want to talk to you. 32 likes, people. We can do a lot better than 32 likes. If you haven't, please take a second, drop a like on the video, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We're getting closer and closer to 30k subscribers right now. We're 29k 152 subscribers. And I appreciate you all for joining the conversation. Yes, we still do shamelessly do beg for likes. That's because yeah, we're not a big account yet, but we're getting there. Give me a second. Let me change the poll and beg for likes. So, Napoli 3, Chelsea. Napoli 2, Chelsea 3. Who was your man of the match? 84% picked. Picked João Pedro, while 16% Robert Sanchez. Fair enough. But yeah, had Sanchez gotten it, I wouldn't. I would. I. I will not. I wouldn't complain honestly. But João Pedro deserves it. All right, let me put up a poll. I'll come back to you once again. So, Jeremy Jackie, I wanted this to happen. Really, start a poll. Let's do this. All right, let's see. What do we have here? Benzema. Okay, yeah. Arguably, the lab is better at holding up the ball. He's more of an old school number nine. I think that's just, you can say, a stereotype. The lab, even I've been guilty of that, but the lab does have a lot more to his game than a lot of people know. But because there's you can say there's a particular type of build that is associated with old school number nines. If it wasn't for the fact that Harry Kane, who actually can actually fulfill the number 10 role more than some number 10s in world football right now, if it's not because he's been there, proven to a lot of people that he's more than just your stereotypical number nine. If you just bring him and show to people and ask them what sort of number nine do you think this player is, they'd tell you a traditional number nine. But he's not your stereotypical number nine if we're going by his skill set, what he's capable of doing on the day. So in the Lab's case, I think it's a stereotype. The Lab is actually quite good on the ball. He can create for his teammates. He can drop the participate in the play. If anything, actually, in my opinion, I think he's actually struggled to operate like a number nine. You get the point now. I'm going by his skill set. The lab is good on the ball. Honestly, a lot better on the ball than people give him credit for. And that's my opinion. Maybe I need to see more, but I've seen enough to know that he's actually good on the ball. And I think maybe the issue is actually us trying to use him like a traditional number nine, and he's not necessarily a traditional number nine, and he struggled to actually perform as a traditional number nine. But I get it. Who is this that's saying this? Arguably, the lap is better at holding up the ball. Right? Is he really good at holding up the ball actually at all? He's more of an old school number nine. someone who does not mind being used as a battering ram. He's good at doing that, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's your stereotypical number nine. He has a lot more to his game than a lot of people given you can say give him credit for. It's just like that a stereotype for right backs. If you're again a certain height, if you're a player and at a certain height, people will start saying you. It depends on how good you are on the ball. People will start seeing you as a CB and not a right back. If you don't know Josh Achampong, maybe probably because the managers he's played under at Chelsea, they've all used him as a centre back. You probably say, yeah, you probably believe that traditionally he's a centre back, but traditionally isn't he a right back? So for the lab is his stereotype. He can do a lot more than be in the box and wait for the crosses for him to put them in the back of the. He can drop deep, participate in the play, create for his teammate. At Hull City under Liam Rosenior, didn't he play? Wasn't he utilized on the flanks as a winger? Give me a second here. Let me take care of something quickly. So it's a matter of perception. You understand? Or maybe the manager he's playing. I'm not. I mean, you can utilize him as a number nine. I think he's properly equipped to fulfill that role. But I think you'll be wasting his talent, really. But that's just my opinion anyway. Let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes and understand people. The likes to go a long way. I will actually improving with this signings. I think we are. Who is he currently better than? Um. Okay, you're talking about Jérémy Jacquet, right? Jérémy Jacquet. I think that's how it's pronounced. I think Jérémy Jacquet, in my opinion, is actually better on the ball than Chaluba. Let me just stick with how they differ. But you could argue better at you could say proactive defending than all our current defenders. He's a better proactive defender. Sometimes he doesn't wait for the danger to get into the box. He's able to read the danger, leave the box, and try to stop it outside the box. And I wouldn't say right now that he's excellent on the ball, but he's very, very good on the ball. So I'd say he's better than Badiashile. Badiashile obviously more experienced. But the Chile doesn't know how to time tackles very well. And I've said this before about Fofana. As much as I like him, the issue with Fofana is the injury that kept him out meant that even after his return, he's still raw. But the truth remains, had he stayed fit and played consistently since we signed him, he'd be a much more polished player right now. But because the injuries he's had kept him out, it meant that he stayed at the level he was before we signed him. So, but what does Fofana have over Jérémy Jacquet? It's difficult to say, really. Jérémy Jacquet, good aerially. It's difficult to say, really, but I think probably he's better than a lot of our current defenders. If anything, some of them are more experienced than him. But I'm just going to stick with the fact that Manchester United, the fact that Liverpool want him and Bayern want him. I think that'd be enough to let you know that that's a good player in there. Yeah, give me a second. Let me take care of this. Yeah, let's beg for likes. Give me a second. I'll get it done in a bit. But while you wait for me, keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. And if you're following the show on X or Facebook, please take a second, drop a like on the video, and also follow our X or Facebook account. We've hit 3,000 plus followers on Facebook, and on X we're currently at 6,000 plus, getting closer to 7,000. If you haven't, please follow our account. We'd really appreciate that. Give me 1 second here. Give me 1 second. Right now, I'll come back to you guys in a bit. Let me finish the poll. Then I want to do. Oh, dang it. 1 second now. All right. But João Pedro is versatile. He's considered as someone who can cover most, if not all, positions. João Pedro definitely more versatile. You could argue has a lot more to his game than the lab. But I'm just saying, I think the lab can actually offer a lot more than a lot of people give him credit for. And the problem might have been, you could say Enzo Maresca trying to use him more like a traditional, or maybe to sees him as more of a traditional. Number 9 and doesn't realize that he can actually do a lot more excuse me than operate like a traditional number 9. Yeah, I said what I said. He, he said, look, Chila, you haven't seen enough of the lab. That's up to us to determine. Listen, that's up to you and up to me. You look at him and then you decide for yourself how the sort of player you think he is. But I think, in all honesty, as much as I like Enzo Maresca, one of the reasons why he struggled a bit under him was he misprofiled him to a certain measure. That's my opinion, anyway. Anyway, yeah, I have water in something that looks like it's a bottle of Tomboliqua, but it's not. All right, let's see. What else do we have here? Liam Rosenior is working on unlocking João Pedro, believing he's capable of much more under him at Chelsea. I think that's believable. He's looked happier under Rosenior than he looked under Enzo Maresca. That is not me slating Enzo Maresca or saying he that he didn't know what he was doing. No, but he's looked. All you can say, some of our players have looked happier under Rosenior, but you could argue mainly those that weren't playing that much under Enzo Maresca. But I am impressed by João Pedro. And yeah, let's leave this. How much we paid for him. Chelsea are glad that they beat others to João Pedro in a package worth 60. What kind of a thing is this? 60 to 60 to 55. Usually I've seen the lower number before the bigger number, but that's okay. 60 to 50. Is that minus? I'm not sure. 60 to 55 plus 5 in add-ons with the Football Observatory telling us that their supercomputer values João Pedro at 87. I think he looks like he does look like an 87 million pounds player. And for the record, actually, even as Chelsea fans were busy slating him, even before his latest exploits, or you could say brace in Naples against Napoli at the Maradona Stadium, his numbers went bad. Actually, he was just 2 numbers off shy of Nicholas Jackson's last season at Chelsea, I think, or so. But people just go by eye test. That's an excellent player there. He can dribble. I get it. Sometimes he overdoes it. And sometimes you can say, look, but that's beside the truth remains we've signed an excellent player there, really. And thank goodness to what happened at Brighton that led to them putting him on the market. I don't care, really. I'm just happy we signed him. Bobby said Badiashile still has a potential and was never fit enough to become good. My question is, when can you draft on a restaurant? Here's something I want to say quickly. Yeah, and I think that echoes my sentiment, my belief when it comes to Badiashile. He's not a bad player. I think it's a confidence thing, and the fact that injuries have kept him out. I know you say a lot of times actually. I don't think there's been a single season where he stayed fit throughout the entirety of the season without getting suffering one injury or the other. That hasn't helped. He's just the same thing as Fafana. Had they both been fully fit since joining Chelsea, they'd be both by now. They'd be much polished, much more polished players, and they probably won't be seeing the sort of because of bozo moments that we've seen from both each time they were on the pitch to play for us. They've been on the pitch to play for us. But yeah, I like him. I really like Badiashile. He's an intelligent player, has good passing range. In terms of our defenders who are good on the ball and have good passing range, I think not at the same level as Levi Cowell, but he's close. He's close. He has good passing range on him, but I'm concerned whether he'd be able to show the sort of form he showed, as I mentioned before, when Chelsea fans were questioning why. I think it was under Graham Potter why he wasn't added to our Champions League squad, given how well he did in the league games he played for us. But let's see what happens. I think he will eventually move on. If he doesn't stay fit, continue playing, and start showing some maturity, confidence, I think the club might have no option than to move him on, honestly. I don't think he's. I think the one of the main reasons why you could argue he's still here is that he's one of the least earners. He's not in the list of the top earners. If he is, correct me. I don't think he is. But that's by the way. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. 34 likes. We can do a lot better than that. I'm gonna go back to the presentation window so we can continue news hunting and see if there's anything else we get there before we start looking at our game against our game against Napoli in Naples at the Maradona Stadium. Give me 1 second. All right. Aaron Anselmino has also been recalled from his loan spell at Dortmund, a move that took the German club by surprise. Like, when I first read that, I was furious, really. What the heck is wrong with them? Listen, you signed them on loan, and part of the agreement was that yeah, we can recall him anytime we want, and you signed it. So why are you surprised? And here's the thing: I don't know whether that you could say whether that was one of the reasons why we decided to recall him. I don't think it makes sense to say yeah, that definitely might have been. But here's the thing: he was playing for them. He was doing well, and they started making it public how they how they're going to push to sign him on a permanent. Probably that might have infuriated Chelsea, or maybe that might have led to Chelsea thinking if we leave him there and he finishes the season there, they could turn his head. They're good at doing that. I think they did it with Connie Chukwuemeka. Connie Chukwuemeka, I think he was never meant to join them on a permanent. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he was meant to be just, or is it Connie or who exactly went on loan there? That the plan was just for the person to finish the loan spell and then return to Chelsea, but they were able to convince him to want a permanent move. One of the German clubs did that to us. Was it Dortmund? I can't quite remember. But Dortmund, they know how to do that, and it'd be easy to listen to them and decide, yeah, you know what, I want to stay there on the permanent because yeah, they're known to nurture young players, give them a lot of opportunities and nurture them. And I don't think they'd actually pay us anything close to the players' valuation because yeah, they're so freaking cheap. They want everything on the chip. But keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. 62 people following the show, 34 likes. We can do a lot better than that. Let's see if we can get it to 100 likes. So please, if you haven't, take a second, drop a like on the video. And also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And my Ghanaian bro in Julius Amor is in the house. Julius, thank you for joining. I do hope you're doing well. And big up to everyone in the chat. Not currently not a lot of people really. So anything important? West Ham, Roma, and Lyon are three clubs to have shown concrete interest in access to City, but at the moment it looks like he's headed to West Ham United. And I hope he does well there. All right, what else do we have here? Anything interesting before we start looking at what the numbers tell us? João Pedro makes official, makes official UEFA Champions League Team of the Week. How many Chelsea players there? One Chelsea player. Lamine Yamal is there. Okay. McAllister is there. Romero, of course. Byrne, of course. Tobin, Benfica. They scored a goal. Why wouldn't he be there? So I don't want to start reading this about Nani Madueke. That the shot he took after they passed the corner kick, he made good dribble there. Actually, probably he was too eager to score a goal, and my goodness, that was disgraceful, really. So João Pedro, very, 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 very happy we signed this guy, and yeah, a lot to come from him. And he does come across a lot as a humble, a very humble individual, and I like that really. I don't care. I don't care what happened at Brighton that led to them putting him on the market. I don't care. But look how good he's been for us. That makes me happy, really. Let's see. Yeah, West Ham boss Nuno Santos and Liam Rosenior. When I see that he's doing well, because the results show that, and the way they are playing is good. So I think he's doing a good job. I don't want to hear managers talk about our managers. I don't care really. I want to see something else from Tyreek George. Tariq just has been offered to Napoli and Roma, according to Alfred Padula. And the fact he hasn't actually, since the arrival of Rosenior, have we seen him? Not he's not been seen on the bench actually. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I've always known that eventually that he definitely will leave this January. So I'm not really surprised there. And good luck to him. Um, a good player, by the way. A good player. Kendra Pies needs to sort out his private life or his talent will waste before his eyes. Okay. Knight Suttis, lack of professionalism, poorly supervised. Kendra Pies in Strasbourg, the chronicles of a failure foretold. Will he relaunch himself at River Plate? If he looks himself in the mirror and does some self-reflection and realize the reason he didn't make it at Strasbourg, because the truth remains, if you play under Rosenior, because he Rosenior does come across as an emotionally intelligent individual. So if Pice struggled to do well under him, then something must definitely be wrong. I'm not just going by how Rosenior. Even if you ask him how good was that guy we signed on loan from Atletico Madrid at the time, a CM maybe or DM CM, I'm not sure. He tell you he was an excellent player. So, but I've listened to him talk, and I know some people say he's been being performative. Is that how you pronounce that word? I think otherwise. I think he genuinely, that's how he speaks naturally. And but my point is here. I digress. My point is here. If Kendrick Pies struggled to hit the ground running, or maybe to yeah, to do well under him. There's something definitely wrong. And as Cyril Oliver's batted, I don't know who that is. He's saying there. Okay, that wasn't originally written. The report wasn't was presented in a different language, but was translated. Okay, translated from French to English. So I don't know who the Cyril is. So mentioning night studies, lack of professionalism, poorly supervised. Kendra Pies is at Strasbourg, so he had issues there. The chronicle of a failure foretold. So maybe I should read that, but not right now. I can't do that right now. So yeah, I mean, I hope he sorts himself out. I hope he sorts himself out. It can. Uh, Oh my word. It's unbelievable. I thought maybe that kid was gonna just yeah. Anyway, Raheem Sterling's representatives are in talks today with seven Champions League level clubs who want to sign him. I don't care where he goes really. I honestly don't care. He's off the books, and that's important. Chelsea will now decide what is best for Aaron and Salmino. It may well be that he moves elsewhere on loan if Chelsea cannot. How does this? This doesn't make any sort of sense to me. Let me read that again. This reads: Chelsea will now decide what is best for Aaron and Salmino. Okay, it may well be that he moves elsewhere on loan if Chelsea can land Jacquet. So he's back to stay, but if Chelsea, it may well be not a certainty, not a certainty. So if Chelsea signs the Jeremy Jacquet, then he may well again move on. They may well move elsewhere to continue playing. But dang it. Yes, then I'm going to say this also. That was, again, in business, if you make sentimental decisions, and then, yeah, you'd fail in all your endeavors, or you could say you're bound to fail. So that's why he's a Chelsea player, and we pay him. He's on our books. So we have every right to recall him and keep him in case we fail to land the signature of Jeremy Jacquet, then he stays and plays. But I think he's good enough, actually. And why wouldn't we? Would it belong to? And again, would it hurt to have both? Maybe because Mahmoud Desai eventually, at the end of the season, will rejoin Chelsea. Maybe they're not just they. I don't know. It wouldn't hurt to have him. Actually, he's an excellent player, and I'd say this is just an intriguing situation, really. But yeah, let's pay attention and see what happens. But more likes, people, more likes. If you haven't, please take a second, drop a like on the video, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. But I feel bad for the poor kid, really. But once again, I understand. Yeah, you don't let sentiments influence your judgment or decision in business. If you do that, you're bound to fail. Chelsea are confident that Axel Disasi will leave the club before the transfer window shuts. But is he going to be on a permanent? No. As we've read, he's on the verge of joining West Ham United on loan. But yeah, they will pay some percentage of his salary, if not all, but I don't know. Let's see how that pans out. Jeremy Jacquet is seen as a ball playing defender who would help Rosenior implement his style of play and also give Chelsea's head coach options as clubs prepare for the business end of the season. I want him for reasons I've explained. Jacquet has been identified as Chelsea's top defensive target, and it is believed the 20-year-old has expressed a preference to move to Stamford Bridge in this transfer window if the clubs can agree. Yeah, the ultimate professional. he's willing to join Chelsea, but we have to find an agreement with Rennes. Yeah, and 12 hours ago, also from Matlaw reported that Chelsea are still working to try to sign Rennes central defender Jérémy Jacquet in the hope that he can join Liam Rosenier's squad for the remainder of the season. So the fact that they're still talking simply means Rennes are open to selling. The question is now, sell them for how much this transfer window? I think we can get him. I think we can get him for less if we're willing to let him finish the loan. If we're willing to let him finish the season with Rennes, but we need him now. It wouldn't make sense to sign him and let him finish the season there. Why did we opt to go for him in the first place? The manager needs him now. We've seen him how he's changed his CB options in game. That reflects nothing but the fact that he's not. He doesn't trust the CBs he has within his disposal. What was all the Douglas Luiz noise? His thing, I'm not sure what happened. And I don't want to start throwing, you can say, pulling information out of my wazoo and throwing them at you. There are conflicting reports, and I'm going to go with what David Austin said. Now, we inquired, but didn't push through. We decided, you know what, we're good with Romero Lavia, Andrea Santos, Moises Caicedo, and the other midfielders we have, which makes sense, really. But Douglas Luiz, for me, would have, you could say, would have injected more experience in that midfield area. But I think we're okay there, really. We didn't need it because James can also fulfill that role. Even against Arsenal, was it against Arsenal? Which of the games? Is it in the league game against Arsenal? He showed that he actually can fulfill it better than some of the players we have that play in that position. So I don't. It was one. Even though I wanted us to go through with it, but at the same time, I thought and I said to myself, we don't necessarily need them, really. And I think even he would look at it and realize that he's more needed at Aston Villa than Chelsea, given the quality we have there. That's, for me, that's not actually in any way an area of concern for me. Big up to you, Abby. Thank you for joining the conversation. I do hope you're doing well. So a lot of comments now, post-game comments from post-game interviews. We'll read a lot of them, and then soon we'll get to looking at the game proper, the numbers to see how each player performed on the day. So Liam Rosenior, this is Vince's opinion, by the way, but let's hear what he has to say. Liam Rosenior really believes a lot in João Pedro. I thought he would use the lad who has a better hold-up play. But even last night when Pedro's hold-up and link-up play weren't clicking enough in the first half, he still didn't sub him off, and Pedro eventually rewarded him. I'm just passing with your opinion. I think I disagree with some aspect in terms of what's his name, Liam, the last playing ability. But I love Fins. We do disagree every now and then, which is normal. What's stopping us from hijacking Alvarez from Arsenal? Salary. It's that simple. I don't think we'll do that. I think, here's the thing. Let me say this, and I've said that before. We're actually a few CBs away from being ready to challenge for the title next season. And those CVs, we might actually not need to spend beyond Jacquet and bring back Sa. Sa is also tall and good aerially, excellent on the ball. He can orchestrate line breaking positions from passes from a deeper position too. Every other position, but I get it. We heard we're still looking to sign an attacking midfielder, which makes sense because we actually right now don't have a traditional 10. All the players we have that are able to fulfill the 10 role are players who are either wingers or attackers who are able to fulfill the 10 role. We don't have any traditional 10. Convince me otherwise. We can. We've matured enough. Let's be honest. We've we've matured. We just need a few signings here and there. And I think defensive signing, maybe another winger and an attacker, I think we're fine. Actually. And look at it. The fact I think if you can take the time, look at all the games we've lost in the Premier League. In all, even in the Champions League. In all those games, I think there's probably you could say 90% of all the games we've lost since the start of the season are all down to us not having you could say capable defensive you could say not good enough defensive line. Nearly all of them, really, if we're being honest. If it wasn't for defensive shambolic defending or maybe defensive errors, I think we'd still be in the second place, if not in the first place, really. Same thing last season. That we at the end of the season we learned that actually we won. I think what's the difference? We won the same amount of games, or what's the difference? But we lost more, and Arsenal drew more last season. Yeah, something like that. So, but let's stick with this season. Look at the games we've lost. In those games, let's say, let me just be fair here. More than 50% of them, let's say actually more than 70-80% of them were down to us not having good enough defensive line. Either Maresca, you could say, starting the wrong pairing or giving opportunities to players who, again, whom an average Chelsea fan would tell you, yeah, definitely we're losing this one because this individual is starting. So we're actually not that bad. The younger, say the so-called young players we have, they've matured, and winning the two trophies we won, the Conference League and Club World Cup, changes their mentality. No. But do you understand? In hindsight, we're speaking in hindsight now, but I know you get my point. I'm saying, had it not been for those losses, games we lost that actually we shouldn't have lost. That's the point I'm trying to make here. I don't want to. You have to go back where. I freaking hate you, man. Just leave me alone. Go back to where you're coming from. I don't want to talk to you again, Chimera. Just leave me alone. But you get the point, really. Give me 1 second here. I just got a notification for something here. Where is it? Really? Which one is this? Okay. No, I'm not doing that. Give me a second. So, but you get, just leave me alone, Chimera. All right, let's see. Antonio Conte on João Pedro. No, we're not friends, Chimera. Go back, to where you came back from. But I loved that, really. That was a good joke, really. Excuse me. And we have DH Rov. Is that how you pronounce that? He said, I'm fed up of Ganacho wing pairing. Ganacho was still, there are certain games that he'd struggle. And again, he's not the best of dribblers. He's not you said the best at dribbling, maybe. But if we have space, if we play against the positions that play high line and you have him on the pitch, yeah, he will be very effective for us. But I don't hold your breath when part of the play means you can say part of what needs to be done for us to create a chance and score a goal involves him dribbling his man. I cannot guarantee he'd do that, but that doesn't mean he's a bad player. It's just knowing when the best, knowing when best to you can say field him and when to leave him out, leave him on the bench. I think he will come good. I think probably by the time Kenda comes, I think he'd be one of the first to be. I'm just gonna say that now he could be one of those the first to leave. You can say he could be the one to leave because I don't think he'd be playing a lot because Quenda is capable of playing on either flanks also. But yeah, but I think he's a good player, really. Let's see. We're still friends. And DH Ralph, if this is your first time here, which I think it is, welcome. Welcome to Chelsea Perspective Community. Feel at home, express yourself here. Your opinion matters. I can proudly say we don't run an echo chamber here. Here, your opinion matters. All we ask of you is to keep it civil, no name calling. Express yourself. If I have a counter opinion, I will present my counter opinion. If I disagree with you, I'll say, yeah, 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 I heard you, but I disagree. But this is how I see the situation. That's how we operate here. So, welcome. If this is your first time, yeah, feel at home, express yourself. All we ask of you is to keep it civil one more time. Let's see. Give me a second here. Yeah, I think Nightbot has said hello to you too there. Let's see what you have. Where was I? Okay, I read that one. What? Oh no no no! Listen, what do you mean by that? I'm not sure I understand what you mean. I can do like this, but no. Why would I do like that? I need you to see what I'm sharing on the screen. Is that okay? Yeah, I just needed to see. Yeah, what I'm sharing. So the main point is what I'm sharing. And sometimes I switch to this one, to this particular window, which shows I am alone, irrespective of whether I have other people in the background. You still see me as the main person here. So but when I'm presenting, yeah, I minimize the face cam. Okay. All right. I see. Hadua Khan says, blessings to you too, my bro. I appreciate you finding time to join the conversation. Big match Saturday. Start JP or the lab. We have Arsenal after. I think the manager will rotate, but JP will be on the bench, which is the right way to do it. He will have him on the bench. If the lab starts and doesn't produce, then JP can come on. And I think probably with the lap on the pitch, I think will be all right because Cole Palmer, he's definitely going to start that game. I'd be shocked if he doesn't. Um, so JP will be on the bench. I don't think he starts. He might come on later. But you can say how the game pans out at a certain period during the duration of the game decides whether JP comes on for the lap or we might see both actually. Who's to say both cannot be on the pitch at the same time? Um, he says, "What's the latest on Tyreek Jug?" I think we did address something. Let me go back to it again. He's definitely going to leave this window. There aren't any specific. Okay, what we did read something to the effect of that he's being offered to Roma and Napoli. Yeah, there you go. No, no, not this one here. There you go. He says Tyreek Judge has been offered to Napoli and Roma. So those two clubs, I think most likely Roma. Roma, they've been, you can say, how many players have they got? They signed Salah on loan, right? They signed Salah on loan. Were they the ones that signed Tammy Abraham? Were they signed him or did he go on loan first? I think you could say that we have good relationship with them, so he might end up there. So Antonio Conte speaking in João Pedro, no, we don't need that. Nothing. We don't care how he sees them. And yeah, and this one here, who is this actually saying he thinks Nani Madueke is an outstanding player? Did Vince forget to mention who said that? Jamie O'Hara saying he would have Raheem Sterling at Tottenham. I think Sterling himself, I think he'd be very open to joining one of our London rivals, so he'd get the chance to score against us to celebrate or maybe show us what we're missing or what a mistake it was to let him go. That's just a personal opinion anyway. But my gosh, yep, my manager. Talk about aura. I really do love him. Nothing else. I think it's about time we start reading the game. Enzo Fernandez here. On Napoli at the Maradona. This is a step by step. We have a great squad with great players, and we hope to do well. Obviously, we are going to play the same way on every pitch, irrespective of where we play. So I'm going to stop looking at this. A lot of post game commentaries, so no need to waste our time there. I'm just going to go to the game proper. But if you have any questions, drop it, and I will try to address it. But here's the thing, you should know the rules. Do not ask any difficult questions. If you ask a difficult question, I pretend I cannot see your question. Okay? All right. Let's see. Yep, I've addressed that. Anything else? Yep, exactly. That's how we operate. And the truth remains, if we all agree, then something isn't wrong. Here's the sort of people I follow on X. When I say when I make my opinion about a certain topic known on X, I pay attention to how people respond. If anybody comes and start calling me idiot, retard, blah blah blah, before I'm not going to pay attention to anything else they say. If somebody comes and says, "Yeah, I don't think it's like that. I think this is more likely to happen," or "I think it is wrong to say that's the case," boom, I've befriend that person. That's the sort of people I like to be my friend. People that understand that we don't have to agree. Because if we all agree, something is definitely wrong. And I will never stop saying that. So those are the sort of people I like to befriend on X. People that disagree with me, but politely present their counter opinion and not cursing the life out of me because we disagree, or call me an idiot because we disagree. I'm not gonna even read through your response. I'll just leave it there. Sometimes, if I'm in good mood, I'll just like it, the fact that you interacted with it. But if you present a counter opinion in a civilized manner, we can be best friends. I hate it when everybody agrees. Let's see. Yeah, thank you for understanding. What else do we have here? All right. Big up to you too, Mike and New. Nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well, and I appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation. We have 73 people still following the show on YouTube, a total of 42 likes. We can do a lot better than that. If you haven't, take a second, drop a like on the video, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. George would be a good signing for Napoli. I think I'd rather him go to Roma. Antonio Conte will start using him as a wing back. Trust me. And, and you probably already know why I said that. Yeah, I don't want him to go to Napoli. I'd rather him go to Roma. Give me 1 second here. All right, let's see what else we have. What's Chimera saying here? I don't want to read anything from Chimera again. I don't want to read anything from you, Chimera. Leave me alone. God did it. All right, papers over crack. I employ everyone to look beyond the ghosts. We still have major issues. We don't have a lot of issues, really. Not a lot of issues, really. I think we have defensive issues. I agree, which can actually, you can say, sorted out by, but but the need for rotation makes it even difficult for the manager. We don't have quality in depth in terms of our different, in terms of CBs to be more specific. I think fullbacks, we have good numbers there, quality numbers actually, but CBs is where we have issues. And I don't think it makes sense to go spend money signing any when Levi Colwell will still come back, Mahmoud Sarr will come back. Chances that Anselmino stays or will still sign, what's his name, we still sign Jérémy Jacquet. We don't have a lot of issues, in all honesty. Let's see. Sterling trying to finish the Big Six. Uh, got led by signing for Spurs United. Yeah, he probably gonna do that. Kukurea form dropped and Neto moving like Mudrik. Neto. I'm willing. I don't want to start slating him or condemning him. He was brilliant for us last season. And every time people talk about him, the first thing that comes to mind was his selfless performance against PSG in the Club World Cup final, where you could say he literally played like a like a wing back and like a defensive player, sacrificing the offensive side of his game just to make sure to help us win that game. I think right now, I think he's mentally tired. I think Neto is mentally tired. He needs a break, and the sooner we rest him, the sooner he'd come back and be doing a lot better. His decision making, I've said this before, reminds me of when Thomas Tuchel was basically running Mason Mount into the gutter because he likes how Mason Mount presses. He kept playing him irrespective of whether he was making poor decisions on the pitch or not. I think you could say the same for Pedro Neto right now because of his experience. The managers, Liam Rosenior, yeah, he started him on multiple occasions even after it was clear that something isn't quite right. You could say he's in poor form, and for me, I think it's down to him being mentally tired. He's still run, but you see something is off, which I'd say clearly him needing a rest or a break. He I think it would do us a world of good to give him a break because he's looked used in recent games, and that is down to him being mentally tired, in my opinion. Not, no, I don't think it's anything else. Let's see. What else do we have here? Hato needs a run of game. He does. I think he will. He will. As much as I like Kukurea, and I've told people before that I would take Kukurea anytime, any day over Ben Chilwell. But when it comes to Kukurea versus Uriel Hato, the only reason I pick Correa is if I need a defensive solution, or not another hybrid of attacking and a defensive solution. I take Correa because he's more experienced. They're not exactly the same, but Hato is more technically gifted. Hato has a lot more to his game than Correa. Correa more experienced and has that unique, you could argue unique but erratic approach to his defensive, how he applies himself defensively, which comes across as erratic or a lot. You could say, to simplify it, to use a more relatable language, a lot of fouls, but effective at the same time. Erratic but effective approach, which he's capable of unsettling even the best of players in world football. He's all over you. Before you know it, you start complaining, getting angry, then he gets the better of you. What's going on here? I'm not sure what to tell you, Ty. I'm just gonna say, go away. What the heck is that question for? All right, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. We have how many likes? 43 likes. We still have 62 plus 63 people following the show. If you haven't, please take a second, drop a like on the video, and also do subscribe to Chelsea Perspective if you haven't. And also, if you want to become a member, up to you. By the way, our members, you can say they just do it because they want to support the channel, because we treat everybody equally. So if you want to become a member, that will go a long way for supporting the channel. We'd really appreciate that. Neto needs to hug the bench on Saturday. And that's a funny way to say it, but the truth remains, I think he needs a rest. Yeah, he needs, again, he's looked used. To use a more simplified language, he's looked tired, mentally tired. He's still run for 19 minutes because that's his thing, but the decision making reflects the fact that they can say he's mentally tired, and that impairs his judgment or impairs his decision making on the pitch. in my opinion. And Road King, bro, send me a message on X so that I can add you to the panelist group. And we need to do a collaboration on TikTok very soon. I know the last time I stopped by to say hello, you did want me to join, but I couldn't because I was driving on that day. Chilwell is surprisingly doing well for Salzburg. A consummate professional. I think eventually the club won him off our books because of his salary. Um, but I think it'd be accurate to say he's a Chelsea legend. It's just that Kukurea was a better option given the manager we had at the time, actually. Let's see. João Pedro reminds me of Cunha. Do how Cunha? I would think maybe I think it'd be easy to conclude that probably I'm saying this because João Pedro is a Chelsea player. I'll take him over at Cunha anytime, any day. I think off the bat he's much taller than Cunha, better aerially than Cunha. The aspect of his game that I need to compare both is who's the much better dribble of the two players. Yeah, I watched them. I was forced to. Two of our panelists here followed them quite a lot. So at some point, I got tired of asking them what they know about certain players that play for Strasbourg that Chelsea fans talk about. So I started following their games. I've watched two of their games under the current coach, Englishman, former Wolves manager. I do watch them. Yeah, they have a lot of good players. They're very young too. I think I'm not sure their average age. Their last game they beat was it Leon? I think they beat Leon away. Am I losing it here? Yeah, they have a good squad, but still at youngest Chelsea though. Oh yeah, I like them. They have a lot of young players, but the only player I'm interested in right now is what's his name? We're getting definitely we're getting I would say Emera, but I'm happy that we're getting Sa. Um, he's the I think Sa maybe in the absence of Emera keeps the captain's armband. Isn't that the case? Because whenever Emera, I remember wasn't Emera the captain when he was on the pitch for them the last time? But Sa, I'm happy we're getting Sa. Sa, wow. Excellent defender, excellent on the ball, reads the game very well, and good exposure at AFCON when you. And but there's one other player too. We signed from Brighton and sent on loan there. Our favorite shopping place. I think rumors are that he no. I think so. I'm not quite sure the deal there. Some are saying he's on loan. What's it in CISO? That he's just on loan there. He's let to join Chelsea or so. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen. But just Sa and Emera alone. I think both will be good for us. A bench netter for who? Um, bench netter for Gittins. Bench netter for Ganacho. Really, just rest him. It wouldn't make sense to keep playing him. He's not gonna. He's playing him won't pay off. He's tired. He needs a break. He's mentally tired. Either of the two would do. It depends on the opposition. With a lot of space to exploit Ganacho. If there aren't too many low block, Gittins. So that's the point. But bench Neto, he needs that break. You can see, unlike last season or during the Club World Cup, even if he loses the ball, you see him actually not doing enough to correct the mistake. He just leaves it up to his teammates to correct the mistakes. And I think probably if he gets a sense to play again and he behaves in that manner, we see a situation where he loses the ball and not make effort to correct the mistake or to win back the ball. I think Rosenior would drop him because what he values his team defending as a unit. I think if he plays again, makes a mistake and doesn't loses the ball and doesn't make an effort to win back the ball, I think Rosenior would drop him because he's going to cost him. He's going to become a problem because if we don't defend as a unit, given the way we approach the game these days, we'll be in serious trouble. All good players, really. And but Ty thinks he's overhyped, but the Barco right now, I just want Mamoudou Sarr and Emera really. He's good but overrated. Moreira has matured at Strasbourg. He has, but I don't think we go for him because it'd be unfair to always go and plug in the best players. And he's actually operating. What's the Englishman, the current manager? Moreira now plays as a traditional winger, no longer as a wing back. As you could say, yeah, he mainly played as a wing back under Rosenior. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not. I'm quite sure I remember seeing that. Yeah, flying wing back, honestly. But right now, the games he played on the O'Neill, he's operated more again mainly as a traditional winger. Yeah, there's space for Enciso in the squad. Backup, would he want to? No, he's. That's the thing. You have to try to see things from the player's perspective. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Moreira and Guerra, the duo interchange. Let's see. Princess, Wade for you. Good morning. Good morning to you too, Princess. I appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation. Please, if you haven't, take a second, drop a like on the video, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We have 44 likes. We still have 66 people following the show. So let's start. Before the game, we used something, and if you haven't, go to our website, www.chelseaperspective.com. I'm going to go there. Sorry for showing you this window. A lot of stuff that you're not supposed to see. The chelseaperspective.com is a web application. It's a web app. You can download it to your phone and have it, you can say, behave like a traditional mobile app. So, but it's our URL, chelseaperspective.com. A lot of fun. And I'm going to show you a lot of the stuff that you can do with that app. We've stopped checking whether potential subscribers are subscribed to our YouTube channel. You just have to create an account to use some of the features. See what's here? That's just yesterday's game. It follows live games. You can also click here to go rate the players. Let me just see if I'm able to walk you through some of the features we have there. Again, it lives on our website. So you see the rating here. How many ratings? One rating. Somebody I think Dante probably did 2 votes. Okay, 2 people have rated. I think Robert Sanchez, I'm going to give him 9. Drag and drop rating process. I'm going to rate João Pedro. I'm actually going to rate him a 10, really. João Pedro, let me rate him a 10. I'm going to rate Enzo Fernandez 8.5. So that's how the rating works. For each a completed game, you can click through the rating and go rate the players. You will record you have to submit your rating here. And also we have community area. You can go to the community area, start a conversation, respond to one of our members' conversation. You can also go to stats to see Chelsea player stats. There you go. You can see everything there. Top scorer, João Pedro with 11 goals. Top assist, Reece James with 6. Jamie Gittins with 5. Andreas Santos with 4. Correct me if any of this is wrong. We're using an API to collect the information and display it here. That's the player ratings. The player ratings there, you can see progress. Okay. You can see the season progress. Yep, all these things there. Is this accurate? I'll check that again. It's still in beta mode, which means some stuff might be a little off, and then we'll try to fix it. And if you use it, if you see anything that's off, you let us know so we can fix it. Caicedo in total, he's had 9 cards in total. Enzo Fernandez 8 cards, yellow cards this season. Andres Santos 7, Marco Correa 7 yellow cards, Esteban William, he's had 6 yellow cards already. Is that accurate? I'm gonna check that. So then we have the schedule. So I'm just showing you what the benefits of. Then it's strictly for Chelsea. Somebody sent me a message the other day advising that we have an option for it to be, it's a global football, to cover all clubs, not just Chelsea Football Club. So look at it now. Our next game, this is Chelsea's schedule. Okay, let me just show you this. If you click on schedule, you'll see it here. Our next game is against West Ham United, and then you can click on compare teams. So it will pull up a spider graph showing you how the two teams compare. Right now, Chelsea are better in terms of goals, 68.0. Attacking were better. Well, actually better in all departments than West Ham United. You can also see team form. Yeah, we've won 4 games in a row. They've won 3 games in a row. We've scored 39 goals. We've scored 27. We've conceded 25 goals. We've conceded 45 goals, and all that information head to head. You see head to head here. Okay, then we'll keep it only Chelsea at the moment. So, but you have to go create an account. Then it would tell me that somebody is requesting access. Then I will approve your access. Then you can have a lot of fun. Then you will go. What else do we have? Can we do here? When you go back to schedule, apart from comparing the teams, you can also click on. You can predict the score line. You can click on predict score line. You can see the standing here. It shows the standing. This is for the Premier League. If it was the Champions League, if we're looking at the Champions League schedule, it will show the Champions League schedule. And we also have to the homepage. I'm going to go to homepage and show you some other features there. Lots of features. There are quizzes to play with. There are also, we have something we call Juju Predictor. We're training AI to try to predict games. And it's been doing well, but we're still training it. So right now you have pose. Then let's line up builder. We'll get back to the game if you don't mind. Let me just walk you through. If you're a Chelsea fan, go have some fun here. You can use it like this and create the lineup. And it's easy. You just click the position. It recommends players. Then you select one. You select the player you want to select. You see Robert Sanchez there. But if you're a content creator, you can go full screen. This is better for a content creator. You go full screen, you select player. Each position you click on, it gives you the option for that particular position. I'm going to go higher here. You click on right back. I'm going to go restraints there. Any position you click, you see the player. Then you can change this from a circular display to a squarish display like this. I usually like the squarish display. You can also select the captain. Let me make James the captain. You see it? It makes him the captain. You can also switch from you can say a single predicted lineup. You can say to a combined 11. Once you switch to combined 11, then you choose the opponent. If I choose Arsenal, then yeah, I'll be able to select Arsenal players in positions. Yeah. Let me say center back. Switch to opponent. I'm just gonna put Arsenal center back that I like, Saliba. See it? I've selected Saliba here because we're doing a combined 11. So it has all these features and you can actually download it. There's download here. So after creating the lineup, you can create a combined 11 and download it. You can also change formation to 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1, 4-4-2. You can also change to tactics. For the tactics, we have a lot of research goes into this aspect. Park the bus, high press, counter attack, wing play, tiki-taka, false 9, catenaccio, and also diamond and total football. You can choose all that. But the thing I like to use the most here is the combined 11 and also the lineup prediction because it goes full screen. And you can also switch the pitch type. Where is it? The stadium type. I really like this one, Frost. I like this Frost one. I think it has a very good contrast. Vintage, like this. I don't like the vintage one. Night, I think this is the default. Like classic, not necessarily. I need to change the classic. Natural grass, this needs some improvement, but it has all those features anyway. So I'm going to close it out. You can clear everything and start afresh. So I want to close it out, but keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Go to the homepage and show you. You can do tier list. If you go to homepage, come to the very bottom, you can go tier list builder, and then you can start. It has all the players there. The tier list, you can go vertical or horizontal. It depends on the one you like. You can go full screen with it too. Drag and drop. But I think this aspect, this one needs more work than say sell. I don't want the club to sell by the Sheila anyway. I'm just playing. So the tier list one's still a bit shaky, but we're still working on it. That's why we want more people to use it. Give us feedback on how to make the app better. You can choose to go to homepage. A lot of fun, a lot of stuff to have fun with. I cannot use Juju Predictor right now until yesterday's game is moved out, and then the West Ham game comes into play. Then Juju Predictor will be available. So there are quizzes here. You go to quizzes. You go to the quiz zone here. You can choose one. I think who is the top? I think Dante is the top in terms of the quizzes. So you choose one of the quizzes, have fun with it. Yeah. Enzo Maresca's Chelsea history, that's one of them. Didier Drogba's Chelsea history. Jose Mourinho's Chelsea history. Eden has a Chelsea history. You go play with them. A lot of fun. But that's by the way. So if you're interested in using it, it's free. You don't have to pay for anything. Just create an account. It will tell me, I will get an alert that says somebody's requesting access. I'll grant you access. If you're a moderator, okay, somebody's already there requesting. Dante started following me yesterday, a new quiz and everything. So if you request access, I'll see it, and I'll grant you access into to the app so you can all go have some fun. And we're gonna be introducing a lot more features. There's also something on the homepage called On This Day, which is automated. Every day the AI finds something that it shows. Where is it on this day? Where is it? Am I in the homepage? Am I logged in? Okay, I need to log in to see it. So on daily basis, you'd see one on this day. I'm logged in actually, so why am I not seeing it? All right, let's see if I see on this day. Nothing today to show. January 30th. I'm not sure why. I'm gonna check. Because he uses the AI brain. If we use up the quota for the day, probably goes blank. But I don't think he's used up the quota because the team comparison works. So maybe that's a bug to fix. So again, the URL is www.chelseaperspective.com. Go there. Let's hear you. So we're going to look at the numbers, the rating for players yesterday. Duty calls, but before I go, let me finish drinking this. You know what, Kuchila? Big up, my bro. Always nice to see you. See you next time. Fair play for making this, Kuchila. I appreciate you. Thank you. I used an app engine, but because I'm a coder, it was a lot more easier to me. And it has something that's been in the works for 3 years. I decided to bring it to life. Thank you. I appreciate that, bro. Yes, Dai, you have every right to use it. As a content creator, you can use a lineup prediction, the lineup predictor. You can also use the the tier list. You can also use the team comparison. Yeah, and the more people use it, the more we'll be forced to fix some of the bugs that we've seen. This is better than the chat. Anyway, I appreciate that, bro. But thank you. It makes us happy. We just want to stick together as a community and enjoy something like that for free without paying. I think, it's good for Chelsea fans. So let's see. Chelsea's top-rated player on that day, João Pedro. Enzo Fernandez, second highest rated, 8.2. I'm not shocked. One goal, one assist. Fofana, even though he started, you can say I'm not, but I wouldn't rate him 7.2. Really, he was poor on the day. In all honesty, I don't know how he got 7.2. 7.1 Rhys James, and the application is different. Even though the starting structure shows Rhys James as a center back, I think it was more about being able to starve Napoli of the ball, to force them, bait them to come, and then with find spaces to go score a lot of goals. Because the plan was to score as many goals as possible yesterday, but it didn't work. Fofana didn't really do well as a lone center back on the pitch on the day. But I'm happy Liam changed things up immediately, which gives me hope. Very proactive. His proactivity, you have to say, was one of the main reasons why we were able to get an equalizing goal and win and won. And his thing, I liked what I heard from Mark Cucurella saying during the second half. He during the break he told them to slow it down, to have at least I think 3 touches or how many touches before doing anything differently, which led to them. I think that's the first time I'm hearing such. Actually, I've heard coaches requiring one touch, compulsory one single touch, or compulsory 2 touches or 3 touches. That's another way. But I think the most simplified way is telling them to ensure they had 3 touches before trying to at something, maybe trying to progress the ball, leading to them. You can say calming down a bit, and it worked perfectly. As if you've rewatched the game at the start of the second half, we weren't in a hurry. We weren't in a hurry to go anywhere. We just wanted to play, and it worked. And you could argue the Napoli players started getting frustrated, so it worked. But yeah, I want to see how well Enzo Fernandez did yesterday. I think he did really really well yesterday, in my opinion. But he's that sort of player. Sometimes numbers don't do him justice, and vice versa. Sometimes when numbers do him justice, Itas don't. That's that's that. He's that sort of player. But he played how many minutes? 90 minutes. Okay, he's 25 now. Ooh, okay. And Enzo Fernandez completed the most passes, 76 in total, and he was everywhere. He runs the most of all our players. It's almost always the one to run the most, really. Okay, somebody's requesting. I got a notification that someone is requesting access. I'm gonna approve it immediately. Um, can I do it with 1% of charge here? If I'm not able to do it, I'm gonna do it the moment I leave office. But let me see if I can do it immediately and grant the person access. 1 second. So yeah, accurate passes 76 out of 82, 93% pass accuracy, and it's not like the most of them are, you can say, safe option passes. A lot of them were penetrated passes, in my opinion. Let me grant somebody access. I hope this doesn't go off while I'm in the process of doing that. So let's see. I'm gonna log in. So expected XG 0.87. So he outperformed his XG. Expected goals on target 0.92. Expected assist 0.05. Uh, Let me see what else we have here. Block shots 1, touches on total 98 touches. Touches in opposition box 1, he leaves there, so it makes sense. Passes into the final third 8 in total. Accurate long balls 2 out of 3, 67%. Dispossessed twice. A non-penalty XG 0.08. Tackles 2, clearances 1, headed clearances 1. Grand dues 1 at 4 out of 8, 50%. Not bad. Was fouled twice, fouls committed 2. So even numbers, you can say it was, and it's important to note that it was a game of 2 halves. So I don't blame him for the numbers not being that great in certain for certain metrics. So let me just approve someone's request here. Ooh, let me see. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm able to approve that here. I think so. Yeah, I think I've approved the request for the person. You will get an email. If you don't, just let me know. Let me see. Manage access requests. Where is it? Feedback, access control. So let me see. Access request. So okay, so I have to do it here. Request one request there. Approve, and that's from Rastafar 858. So I'm gonna approve it. Yeah, so Rastafari, I've approved your access. So enjoy the app. Tell more Chelsea fans about it. Let us know how we can make it even better. Um, so that's by the way. I'm gonna go to. I'm sure nothing new emerged, but I'm gonna check if anything new emerged as the show progressed. I will bring it up so we can talk about it before we call it a day. Otherwise, we'll call it a day. I think we've talked about enough of some of the important topics there. Um, right, I have my phone here, and I wasn't sure where I kept it. Let me see if anything new emerged as the show progressed. João Pedro. All right. More likes, people. 48 likes. It doesn't look like we're probably going to get to 50, but that's fine. So let me see. Vince, what you got for us? Did anything new emerge? Let me check. Let me go to. Dang it. I can't do anything. How am I going to search for Vince and find him? Okay, go to homepage. Go to Vince. All right, nothing new. 5 hours ago. Yep, these are topics we've actually addressed. But that's by the way, with that, I want to say thank you to all of you for finding the time to be part of the conversation. I've waited, nothing new emerged, and I think we've covered pretty much everything out there. And I want to say thank you to the Rob for finding the time to join the conversation. And thank you to Ty for joining. Ty, you know what to do. I don't know why you didn't share the link to your YouTube channel, but if you haven't, please click the three dots by Ty's name. Click on go to channel. Go check out his YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and let him know I sent you. Thank you to Chimera for joining. Thank you to Prince Owade. Is that Owade for joining? And to all of you, and Chimera also, of course. And if I miss your name, apologies. I'm only human. See you guys next time. God bless us all, and cheers.
Chelsea, the dream keeps us strong. Through every challenge, we rise, never wrong. With every goal, we fly, hearts on fire. The passion unites us, takes us higher. Keep on singing it, support never fades. Together we stand in this blue brigade. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand. Oh yeah. The blue flag flying high, fly high. From Stamford Bridge, the pride that we share. Each kickoff, each moment, it feels so rare. With faith in our hearts, we chase the dream. Through every match day, we're part of the team. The love for our club is a powerful thing. Together we shout, let the victory ring. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand. Oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. We're unstoppable. Hear the roar. In blue we trust forevermore. Together we sing hand in hand. For Chelsea forever we'll stand. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand. Oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. keeps us strong. Through every challenge we rise, never wrong. With every
Chelsea fans, we won't stop believing. New knock with every chant and roar, we rise for the fight. The blue flag in the air, let it fly with pride. We're gonna show the world all hearts open wide. From Stamford Bridge, share our voices to the light. We love for the team, stand strong by our side.
Through every challenge, we will never ignore. In unity we trust, our hope's on the rise. Chelsea spirit shines, bright lights up the skies. And if a cowboy said, for Europe does, and then with a love did storm. Every foe's estimate, there was a strife. How you, my heart, keep the blue flame inside like we soar. Through every challenge, we will never ignore. In unity we trust, our hope's on the rise. Chelsea spirit shines, bright lights up the sky.
Chelsea fans, we won't stop believing. New knock with every chant and roar, we rise for the fight. The blue flag in the air, let it fly with pride. We're gonna show the world all hearts open wide. From Stamford Bridge, share our voices to the light. We love for the team, stand strong by our side.
Through every challenge, we will never ignore. In unity we trust, our hope's on the rise. Chelsea spirit shines, bright lights up the skies. And if a cowboy said, for Europe does, and then with a love did storm. Every foe's estimate, there was a strife. How you, my heart, keep the blue flame inside like we soar. Through every challenge, we will never ignore. In unity we trust, our hope's on the rise. Chelsea spirit shines, bright lights up the sky.
Chelsea fans, we won't stop believing. New knock with every chant and roar, we rise for the fight. The blue flag in the air, let it fly with pride. We're gonna show the world all hearts open wide. From Stamford Bridge, share our voices to the light. We love for the team, stand strong by our side.
Through every challenge, we will never ignore. In unity we trust, our hope's on the rise. Chelsea spirit shines, bright lights dust, and there with a love this storm. Every form says to fair, there was a strife. How you, my heart, keep the blue flame inside like we soar. Through every challenge, we will never ignore. In unity we trust, our hopes on the rise. Chelsea's spirit shines, bright lights up the sky.
Chelsea fans, we won't stop believing. No knock. With every chant and roar, we rise for the fight. The blue flag in the air, let it fly with pride. We're gonna show the world all hearts open wide. From Stamford Bridge, share our voices to the light. We love for the team, stand strong by our side.
Through every challenge, we will never ignore. In unity we trust, our hopes on the rise. Chelsea's spirit shines, bright lights up the skies. And if a cowboy said, for real of dust, and there with a